Greetings, everyone. We are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Guru. Thank you so much for joining us, as we always do. We just want to thank you all for the support. Again, thank you all for the support. Audrey, Kala's not in Liberia yet, but guess what? He leaves tomorrow. He leaves tomorrow. Now, Kala, before you leave, let's do the checklist. You got your COVID results back?
Yep.
Okay. You got your visa?
Yep.
Your passport not expired?
Fever.
Okay, yellow fever card. Okay, your passport's not expired.
Nope, I just got it.
Okay. Let's see here. You got a ride to the train station tomorrow?
Yeah.
You gonna get your Uber? Okay. What time the train leave, Colin? What time the train leave?
The train leaves at 7:25.
In the morning.
I arrive in DC. They say 12:15 a.m. 12:15 p.m. Plane leaves at 6 p.m. in the evening, so I'll be there all that time for like 5 hours almost, checking in and hanging around. I hope they got a good restaurant,
Oh, in Dulles?
Yeah.
It depends which terminal you're at. I guess you're flying what, Ethiopia?
No, United.
Okay, so you're going to Brussels?
Mm-hmm.
So then Brussels. Okay, no. You're going. I'm gonna tell you your route. You're going DC to Brussels, then Brussels to Freetown, and Freetown to Monrovia.
Right.
Yeah. See, when we go in April, for some odd reason, it got us going from Dulles or Reagan to Chicago, then Chicago to Brussels, then Brussels to Freetown. Yeah, I could not. And then when I said, okay, let me do Chicago to Brussels, it didn't have us going Chicago to Dulles. It's just for some reason on United, I couldn't find a direct flight.
What we basically need is to stop playing games and show the people start seeing that the number of people flying to Africa is growing, so the demand is there.
Right.
But they just can't. They still don't want to put the money into it because they don't. They think no one has the confidence that Africa can sustain anything. Everybody think, oh well, we put this money now. What if there's a civil war? You know what I'm saying? You don't say that with an Asian country, right? Because there's going to be stability. I said, well, why we invest in this airport when 5 years from now, next government takes over, they're going to strip everything down to the bare wire, and we're going to
be. Hey, Kyle, he said he's going to do it like so. When I was in Atlanta, they used to come and strip the copper out of houses and take the AC units.
Yeah, man.
Did they go do that to the airports?
I'm gonna tell you no lie. The Mount Coffee Dam, who just now getting back online, right in Liberia, was stripped down bare. Every copper pipe.
A dam?
The dam, Mount Coffee, it was built in 1965. It's now, because when the indigenous, whatever, they took over, they stripped that down for parts, and so long.
A dam?
They stripped that dam down. I guess they didn't know what it was for, They didn't know that. They stripped out the pipes and the sewer lines, everything, man. They did a ransack on Monrovia.
How do you strip a dam?
Bro, it has copper. There's copper. The steaders that turn, that create the electromagnetism. That's worth a lot of money, And the bottom line is that's worth more than getting electricity to Monrovia, And that's what it was.
So they stripped the dam. But remember, in the glory days, they had direct flights from Atlanta to Monrovia.
Oh yeah. They used to have have chartered flights, private jets. They used to fly from North Carolina to Greenville area of Liberia, Greenville, Liberia, and Sino County. People used to have private jets. They used to go there on parties on the weekend to party. Liberia used to be a party country, man, in the 70s. Right. What the hell happened, man?
Yeah. Yeah, but like I said, it's crazy. So we got to go to DC, Chicago, Brussels, then to Freetown. It's just weird. I could not find a direct flight from here to Brussels.
That's sad.
It's whatever, It's whatever. We'll just enjoy ourselves and
Yeah.
You
Well,
know.
Ghana got direct flights, man. How's that, man? You know.
No. Lagos. So Lagos. In fact, so you could have added a Newark. You could have flew direct Ethiopian from. So the first time I went to when I went to Liberia,
Yeah,
and
Ethiopia.
I flew from Newark. No, I think either JFK and Newark to Lome, then Lome to. I had a layover in
Yeah, yeah.
Accra. Then from Accra, I went to Freetown. I mean,
Robia.
Monrovia. Yeah.
No, they got that Ethiopian air is good, but serves Liberia well. You know, you just got those
Uh,
layovers. And people are like, oh, African layovers are different than European. Like I say, feed you better than European layovers and African layovers.
yeah. So yeah, man. So yeah, the Kala is gonna be in Liberia. That's gonna be interesting, boy.
Yeah. Like I said, we're gonna be broadcasting from there. I got a whole lot to do, a whole lot of people to see. And I've invited so many different places. I hope I can see everybody when I'm there. I'm gonna try, and do all the stuff I can. But I'm only one person. I need somebody else stepping up and doing some more work too. And the next time I go to Liberia, not this time, I'm gonna go visit the Grand Jita. That's where the Crown people are. I'm going to my special mission here is to go to Nimba County, meet with my friends in Nimba. That if you don't know anything about the history of Nimba County, that's where the OAU, the Organization of African American Unity, was first proposed. Now, let me give you a little background about this, right?
Let me do my announcements first before we go. And I was so excited about you going to Liberia. All right, so guys, make sure you go to dynastymir.com. Again, please go to dynastymir.com. Join our email list. Also, as you guys know, we are raising money for the school I am sponsoring in Bo, Sierra Leone. In Bo, Sierra Leone, the school I am sponsoring. So, guys, please go to africapersonified.org. I'm going to share the screen and we're going to pull it up real quick. I'm going to pull it up right now. So, guys, make sure you go to africapersonified.org. africapersonified.org. This is our nonprofit, everyone. So right now, our goal, the school that we're sponsoring in both Sierra Leone is the Chuck Brammer School. And once you go onto the site, if you scroll down, so go to africapersonified.org, africapersonified.org, click on where it says Bo Sierra Leone, click on read more. And right now, we've raised about $1,000. We're about $4,000 off from our goal. And that's to build the structure for the computer lab for the school. So, I've had the opportunity to visit the Chuck Brammer School. Is it 2 or 3 times? Twice. I've had the opportunity to visit the Chuck Brammer School twice. The school was founded by Miss Katie. We call her Auntie Katie Conti. That's me and her right here. So you guys can see the video on my YouTube page from when I visited the school and spent time with the founder, and they welcomed me very well. And also our tour in April, we're going to go to the tour as well. So we will be going to both Sierra Leone in April for the tour. With that being said, if you want to join us in Sierra Leone for the tour, send me a message. Go to dynastymir.com or search for huru.com. Send me a message. And to contribute to the school, africapersonified.org. And where it says sponsor this project, you'll click on that button. It will take you to the PayPal page to make your donation. And that's me with the students right there at the Chuck Brammer School in Bo, Sierra Leone. So again, we're about $4,000 off from our goal of building the computer lab. Well, the structure. So we're going to build the structure, get that up, then have another fundraiser to actually furnish it and with computers and whatnot. So that's what we're doing, you guys. And then also make sure you go to ilaamir.com, ilaamir.com. People continue to ask about the Africa Personified shirts. So go to Ilaamir, that's ILEAMIR, House of Amir, an African marketplace. And you can get your Africa is My Therapy t-shirts along with other. I have my prints from when I've been traveling, my photos, some of my photos. We're doing interior design now as well. And then because people are like, that, it's your statues and your your antiques and your artifacts. I want to get those in my home. Well, hit me up. We'll come and hook it up. And then grab your Africa's My Therapy shirts along with the other shirts as well. Africa's the Now, Africa's My Therapy, the art, the pillows. We got the pillows as well. So yeah, that's what we're doing, everyone. That's what we're doing. In fact, one of the pillow. Got my pillow right here. Got the Mirror pillow right here, everyone. So go and cop your gear, everyone, and then buy your books, all that good. Go to dynastymir.com. Everything is there. So, Kala Thanos. Why? Okay, we talked about this before, but we're going to continue to discuss. Kala, we went from Liberia to riding with Biden and clutching pearls and wearing Chucks.
Well, the thing is, right now, like I said, the world's seeing now that politically, if politics is even relevant in Black America anymore, because I really don't think it is. After this last humiliation, and people started to say to themselves, at least I am, right, starting to say to themselves that what do we need? People are saying this for about a good decade. Black people. What do we need this political party for? I was just listening to a Democratic chairman, whoever his name is, right, tonight. Come on, we got to do this. We got to do this. All on the backs of Black people, right? Because that's what it's all about, right? Getting Black people. Because Black people think by helping the Democrats, they're fighting racism. I mean, we are deluded to thinking that whatever racism is going to disappear. And I was just talking to my aunt tonight. She's like, "Yeah, but you understand something." I said, "I know about Uncle such and such that got killed by the Klan, but that's not this fight today. Those people who are pushing that in your head are using you. The people that run the Democratic Party are the Mark Zuckerbergers and all these other people that are billionaires. They don't care about you. All they care about is getting you to the polls every couple of years to shore up
Get your booty to the polls. Your booty to the polls.
That's all it is. And the bottom line is, no matter how much you try to tell, maybe a younger Black people, you could probably reach them. Look, that's not what this is all about. We didn't die. Our ancestors didn't die just so you can go vote and be fools at a poll. You're going to gauge a political system. You have to get something out of it. And now what you see now is more and more Black people, middle class Black people and everything, are starting to look at Africa seriously. I wouldn't even say it was like this 3 or 4 years ago.
No. Oh God, no.
I'm not just talking about some of the people we get on social media and stuff. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about people who basically can make it in America, who got money, who got position, who may get along with whites, not racist or nothing like that. Don't hate America, but just basically saying, so it's been happening for a while. There's a guy as a software engineer that took his family from California to Botswana, living in heaven. My girl, Kaylin Sutton, she just had her second child, her Namibian husband. She's been there for 10 years. She has a boy that's 6 years old, and she just had a baby the other day. She had about C-section. Beautiful sister, love her. She's been there. She made a life for herself in Namibia. And so therefore, this idea of having an option. Now say, well, what this is going to tie into what I'm talking about Liberia. Now they say, Colin, what's the difference? The difference is you're pursuing the political system in America like you don't have an option. You're allowing yourself to be humiliated. You're saying, so what? We don't get nothing out of it, whatever like that. Well, at least we're safe, whatever like that. Well, what do you mean safe? Well, you're not getting anything out of the political system, right? What do you have to lose? Black people in America, right? The white man has convinced us that there's no other options besides him. And now it used to be all white people, but the Republicans like whatever you guys want to do, whatever. But the Democrats are telling us that it's their job to protect Black people from racism. What that means is this: one slave master sees you over there getting abused by master such and such, right? He's going to go out of his way to get you courts to purchase you so he can bring you on his plantation, right? Where he may treat you a little better. But the thing is, you are still on a plantation. Don't you get it? You are still on a plantation. You're not getting any place. So what's the difference? The difference is that's not what our ancestors fought for. Our ancestors always wanted to be free. They didn't want any of this stuff. They didn't want any of this. We rolled with the Republicans after the Civil War because they were party of Lincoln. And then after the 1960s, Johnson's civil rights, we switched our allegiance to the Democrats. But all the time, none of these political parties, there was an unwritten agreement among these political parties that nothing is going to be fundamentally changed. They'll give you some here and there, but they won't say black issue. They'll say urban. They won't say, they'll say diversity. They'll say words like inclusion. They'll say words like the less fortunate. They'll say the poor and the least among us, which is euphemism for black people, because no matter what your income level is, what you're doing, you automatically subscribe yourself to those categories. So therefore, that's what you are in America. You could have $1 million in the bank. People are like, oh, poor Mr. Black man. We gotta take care of you. We gotta save you. We gotta do all this stuff, and that's what you have. Now, the whole idea is this. Like I said, when Jesse Jackson went over to Liberia in the 1970s, right, late 1970s, right. Now, several African Americans went over there. It was Max Robinson and Randall Robinson. Max Robinson used to be a news reporter. You heard of him before, right, Dennis?
Who?
Max Robinson. He used to be ABC News. Real good, bro. He passed away, but he was basically, he quit ABC News because he didn't like the way blacks were portrayed in the news. He went over there and met with Tolbert and Cecil Dennis, and him and his brother Randall Robinson. I know you heard of him, right? Trans-Africa. Okay, that's before your time. Okay,
before my time. Yeah,
before your time. Okay. Anyway, the bottom line, there was a lot of black people in the 70s going to Liberia. Muhammad Ali was there. Nina Simone was there. Bill Russell was there. John Amos was there. And people started looking at that as a possibility. Not only that, you had a lot of black people in Nigeria during the Fest Act in 1977. Do you know African Americans were the largest contingent?
Oh, let me see. I want to grab that magazine. Hold on. Let me see if I still got that Ebony magazine. Hold on. It's upstairs.
Well, the World Festival of African Arts and stuff, largest contingent on the continent from outside Nigeria was from Black America. The CIA was watching that. There was a large number of African Americans during the Ali Foreman fight in the Congo. Black people from America are walking around spreading ideologies like Pan-Africanism, Black unity, Black love, and everything like that. Made colonialist powers uncomfortable. There was large numbers of black people in Kinshasa. People don't know that. There was large numbers of black people living in Mombasa and Nairobi. This is before Kala. This is before Search for Uhuru. This has been going on. Mm-hmm. Black people just want a new outlet. That's when black people thought themselves individual. And there was no, we all got to do this and everything. That's when Farrakhan came on. We go. In other words, basically these phony leaders, right, who tell us we got to stay and fight for our rights in America. We die for this. No, you just really a Captain American Negro with a bow tie on. That's all you are. You love America, right? You say you hate the white man, but you don't want to leave the white man. And people are like, oh, Colin, how dare you say it? I'll say it like it is. I'm telling you like that because it's true. So therefore, there was a large numbers of black people who basically, not just Africa, there's always been black people who went to Paris, France, there was large numbers of black people who went to Moscow. So this idea that America is this thing. Let me tell you something about civil rights, right? People don't know this. I don't know if I ever said this on the show, right? Do you know the civil rights movement, right, post-World War II? Actually, the integrationists, they started with the Chinese and the Mexicans, and they refused them. The Chinese and the Mexicans looked at them like they were insane. They're like, okay, we got Chinatown and everything like that. They first said we're going to integrate. When people say America was a racist country, right? They first tried to integrate the Chinese in there, right? Because remember, America turned to Japanese, right? So right away, started reaching out to the Asian community in America, right? Trying to give them education and stuff like that, right? That's what spurred the black civil rights movement, right? If the Asians could do it, we could do it. But the thing is, they didn't have so much success with Asians. Even though in California, Asians and whites were going to school together and everything, there wasn't large numbers of Asians and Hispanics in the South, right? That's where the problem was. So therefore, even though there was de facto segregation in the North, right? They still basically had to put on this dog and pony show called integration, right? What you would see a black kid getting beaten up trying to integrate a white school. So the government could beam that around the world saying, look, we got integration. So they use black people because the Asians, first of all, there was no early Asians in the South, right? And also the Asians were not interested in what the long-term effects of what they call integration. They'll take the education, they'll take all the other stuff that goes along with, okay, you want to educate us, whatever like that. But what they were asking for in integrated society is that you're going to become less Chinese and you're going to become like white people. And the Chinese were like, no, we can't do that. Because they know for a fact of the matter is the majority of people living in Chinatown are not going to do that. So what you'll have is a fragmented community. That's why you ever see that? I've seen that one special with Lisa Ling. You know, a good-looking Chinese reporter that works for Oprah on OWN Network, Lisa Ling. Mm. Okay, Lisa Ling, a couple of years ago, went to China. A couple of years ago, she went to China, right? And she was a Chinese American, right? And she was basically went to Beijing, China, and met with a lot of Chinese expats, right?
Oh, okay, yeah, I know. Okay, I see. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so anyway, she was basically saying, I feel an attachment, even though I'm an American and everything, to China because I'm Chinese. And she was sitting there bonding with these Chinese who had for generations lived in Chinatown in New York and San Francisco. And the one Chinese guy said, look, you guys sound like, Chinese when they're completely assimilated, they sound like a white guy, a Puerto Rican, you know what I'm saying? Right. He was just like, yeah, well, they said, well, you don't know nothing about the culture. He said, I don't know, but I just see people look like me. He said, I just see people look like it's a possibility. I'm living here in Beijing. I got opportunity and everything. And they said, and Lisa Ling, which I interviewed him, said, well, your ancestors been here for like several generations in America. Why are you going back? He said, I don't know. I just, I don't feel like a foreigner here. He goes, I'm a foreigner in America just by the way I look. No matter how well I speak English, I'm educated I am, I feel like I'm an outsider in America at all times. Mm-hmm. And that's what repatriation to Africa for African Americans could be like if we were smart, if we learned how to apply ourselves and help and integrate into the urban and the trend setting part of Africa and everything. Like you could be in a place where you don't feel this like you're an outsider, or you don't feel like, oh my, we gotta change America. We gotta change America. That's just euphemism for keep doing the same thing, getting your ass kicked, for the next 100 years and doing nothing and voting Democrat. Am I lying, Dinus?
No.
That means just, and I want, something, we said this before. Didn't we challenge these people who were talking about Joe Biden and everything like that? Where are they at, Dinus? Where are they at? Why are they not defending their boy now? How come they won't come on and defend? They won't come on and defend.
Yeah, because we moved on. I mean, we moved on.
Yeah, so they won't come on and defend the thing. Somebody said Charles Taylor. People don't people. That's another thing about false narratives about Liberia, right? Charles Taylor's a good leader. I have a couple of brothers of mine that are Liberians I just met. That I'm gonna meet on the ground. They're like, man, Colin, what can we do to get Charles Taylor out? There's a lot of Liberians that love Charles Taylor. Why? Because he brought peace to the country. He got rid of Samuel Doe. And so you got people out there, Charles Taylor. Why do people don't like Charles Taylor? It ain't coming from any black news outlet in Liberia. It's coming from the Western media. People are basically thinking they're doing something. I had some guy that's called himself a Pan-Africanist. But Charles Taylor was a warlord. I go, Negro, are you serious? Who labeled him a warlord? That's what they say. Or who said that? You're looking at the freaking New York Times and all these other people, the Examiner and everything, and they label somebody something and you just go along with it. So much for black media, right? So much for black media. What was the truth about Charles Taylor, right? Charles Taylor refused Exxon, Chevron, all of them to drilling off the coast. Also, he refused a lot of these companies that wanted to rob Liberia and colonize Liberia? He said no. He said, you ain't going to put us back on the continent. Liberia is going to remain free. That's what Charles Taylor said. Now, he had corruption and everything like that was going on and everything. And so basically you have rebel groups. See how you understand somehow Liberia and Africa works, right? Once the West doesn't like you,
rebel groups just pop up out of nowhere.
They pop up out of nowhere. This is our chance, you know? This is our chance. They don't know what they're going to do, but this is our chance. That's why when you see a African leader, right? And anytime the West says something, the West raise their eyebrows. Yeah. Okay, he's a good leader. We could have confidence in him, you know? But that's starting to change. President Mngwele, whatever, is of Tanzania, he's standing up to the West, you know? Paul Kagame is standing. So the new generation is coming up saying no. You know, well, we don't care about your threats of a coup or regime change and stuff like that. Unfortunately, the less educated, because more of the population is educated, the less they have to worry about that. The more they understand that things take time and they know how to manage expectations. People live within their means until they get to the promised land or until they achieve salvation. But in our less educated African countries, there's always a threat of a coup, always a threat of rebel groups. Why? Because they don't understand, they elect bad leaders, and they basically have high expectations. They don't understand how the world works and stuff like that. And so when as long as that leader is useful to the West, they'll keep him in power. They'll keep him in power by saying that if we don't recognize any coup or new government and everything, he's going to come back, just like Xenophobia, right? You know, they basically, when the West decided that they had enough of him, he had to go. They knew he was corrupt all along, right? You know, and he did a lot of good things, but compared to what you see going on in Gambia now, he was a godsend. So basically is if you basically have as soon as the West says, this is what it is. As soon as the West says, you know something, we don't like his policy on homosexuality. We don't like what he said about that. We don't like what he said about this, right? What happens is that triggers rebel groups, right? Okay, you know, I got my contact over here. It's time to take him out, you know? And they'll start, and people always think the CIA is there trying to probe. A lot of these people go to the CIA. They be saying, oh, look, man, put me in power, man. I'll give you whatever you want. You know?
Facts.
That's how these desperate Negroes are on the continent, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yo, man, I can do a better job than this guy. You know, we can run this and everything. And then after years of them prodding, selling themselves to the West, and in case of Zimbabwe, China, because it was China that greenlighted that coup in Zimbabwe by Mnangagwa. You know, it was China. Mm-hmm. China says, you know, so okay, maybe it's time for you guys to move on Mugabe and move from power, right? China did that, right? So that's what you have on the continent. You know, everybody basically is jockeying. What I like to know is when is that we're going to have that one strong African state, right? And that one state that can lead a coalition of nations that say if you unjustly have a coup or engage in rebel activity, kidnappings and stuff like that, we are going to bring fire and damnation down on you. You know, mm-hmm. There's no West going to save you. No UN's going to save you. No anything. We are coming for you. And until that happens, and then this is another thing. This is very controversial what I'm about to say. If you cannot, like I said on the show last week, right? Your sovereignty is this. If a nation calls itself sovereign, right? It is responsible for the people within its borders. If your people keep leaving the country, flooding the country, other countries, if your people keep engaging in criminal activities across the borders, whatever like that, and you don't have a good control over your country, whatever, you forfeit your sovereign rights. I don't know who created this idea that we can have lawless countries in Africa, right? And go run amok, right? And they're only accountable to who in Europe. What do we have an African Union for? Look what's going on in CAR. You know, complete lawlessness. They don't even report it no more because it's an utter failure. So I ask you a question. So where's the African Union? Why are we beholden to this institution?
Right.
Why doesn't it have power, peacekeeping power, to put that country, that territory under trusteeship? Where are the strong African countries? The powerful African countries we keep hearing people bragging about. Why don't we put parts of northern Nigeria under trusteeship, international?
I just Googled Central African Republic, and the first article that pops up: Central African Republic's capital in apocalyptic situation as rebels close in on the capital. Goodness.
Yeah. So the bottom line is that, and also Cameroon. No one's talking about Cameroon. I get emails from people, Colin, man, when's somebody going to talk about what's going on? We get slaughtered in Cameroon. French Cameroon is destroying English Cameroon and Amazonia. They're trying to be a separatist state. They said we have nothing to do. And with President Biya, we don't even know he was even alive right now. Same thing that's going on in Western Zambia with Barotse land, trying to succeed from Zambia. So there's all these conflicts all over the continent that we in the diaspora need to be aware of. And the more we're aware, right, you'd be surprised. When I do this show, right, the comment section, Colin, you got it wrong. That's not what happened over here. No. You just like I said that. And it spreads like wildfire. People will say, what I'm saying? I just researched what Colin said. He's right. I didn't know that was going on in Cameroon. I didn't know what was going on in the Congo. I didn't know that they're taking minerals out of Western plains and Chinese planes and everything are packing planes full of minerals and carbon strips out of the jungle, and they're raping the Congo as we speak right now. That's Africa. And the bottom line is this: yeah, we may be powerless sitting in America, but we don't have to sit here and agree to it. No, I don't agree to it, and I wish I had the power to stop it. So I'm not gonna sit here and be like, "Oh, everything's all rosy." Then we got problems. If Africa is really our continent, we got to be concerned, because when you see stuff like this, when some children is being robbed of a future, that's the way I think. Now, people don't care about the children. You don't care about Africa's future, then shut the hell up. I'm a principled person. I don't care about projects and investment. That'll come. But we got to get ourselves right first. We got to start holding people to the fire. And I'm disappointed about what happened in Uganda.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed. And no one's saying anything. Just like in America, we walk back to sleep. The black man walk back to sleep. And then 20, 30 years from now, you're going to want some respect. But I'm an elder now. Because you got gray hair on your head. Nigga, get the fuck out of here. You know how I think about my so-called elders. I got no respect. Because somebody got gray hair on head. Colin, you see that gray beard? He's an elder. Man, that nigga could be my freaking my garbage man. No disrespect to my garbage man, picking up cans in a bag. So I got it. If I can just get this, I get me a 40 ounce, I'll get me some bourbon. Half these niggas are fools, get on here because they're old, you listening to them. You're an old fool. You don't know anything. If you knew what you was doing, I wouldn't be here right now. And I'm like, when I get that age, people are gonna look back and say, well, Colin left this. He left a leg. He left us something to build with. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to hear nothing about the elders. Oh, Colin, you get the hell out of here. But that's what we have right now in the black race. We have people misleading us, using us, and they don't give a damn about us. All they care about is looking big in front of white people, getting you out the vote and everything. It's a dog and pony show. But you don't have to pay. You don't have to participate in it. Now, I understand the power of media and everything like that. But when you're on your own platform and they're making you, we got to engage Master Biden. He said, you don't have to do that. You have options. Start talking about this Pan-African stuff more. Start talking about this Pan-African stuff. Anybody want to call in, Dennis?
Yeah, listen, we're going to take some calls. If you guys would like to call in, email is uhuru@searchforahuru.com, uhuru@searchforahuru.com. Again, please call in uhuru@searchforahuru.com, uhuru@searchforahuru.com. Hey, Colin, how long are you going to be in Liberia?
3 weeks.
Okay, when you come back, we're going to do a I mean, we're gonna do a marathon.
Oh no, I'm gonna do a show while we're over there. I'm over there.
Okay.
We're gonna do a show. Dice, man, I gotta do a show. I'll probably do it from the Kendeja, the RLJ, Kendeja. You know, I might do it from there.
Are you staying at RLJ?
Oh no, I might go there for a day. You know,
Like, go stay there. It's a nice. I visit. It's nice. It's real nice. It's real
you
nice.
stay
Go
in a
visit.
hotel, or you just visit.
I didn't stay. I didn't stay there. We just so I was staying in Painesville when I went,
Yeah.
and so like from where I was staying, it's like 15 minutes up, straight shot, like 10, 15
Right.
minutes straight shot. So
I'm gonna be in
yeah,
Congo Town.
okay,
Yeah. So
yeah,
so the bottom line, yeah, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go down to Grand Bassa and Buchanan. Beautiful beaches. I mean, what I love about Liberia is I'm going to experience what my ancestors felt when they first landed on the shores. They found paradise and they built a paradise. They said they built their own. They erected their own homes and churches and schools and clinics and everything. They built a civilization in paradise, you know. And so the bottom line is that's an amazing history, amazing story, and so basically, I'm going to have a good time, and I'm going to meet a lot of people. Hopefully, as a matter of fact, I'm going to be on a radio. Liberia, one of Liberia's largest radio show, is going to give me an interview. Who is a college genesis? Why is he here? And what is organization of Black African Infrastructure, and the Association of African Americans for Liberia. You can find that on Facebook. It's AFRAM4LIB. AFRAM, the number 4 LIB on Facebook. If you just want to join Facebook and you don't want to join the Ning site. Also, I have a mobile app coming out for the Ning site, the social network site that I run. So what I want to do is compete with was it Twitter and Facebook and everything. So you'll have push notifications, and we'll have an app that everyone could go. I said, if you're into Pan-Africanism, repatriation, and everything, you're more than welcome to join the social network. It's a forum. You can create your own blogs, your own page, everything, your own groups, everything. I'm going to grow this thing, you know. So, but that's beside the point. I believe social media. We need to have our own platforms. You know, we need to have own our own platforms, because at any time YouTube could pull the plug on us, anytime Facebook could pull the plug on us and everything. And you see what they're doing in places like Parler and stuff like that. If they don't like what you say, they're going to get you off the air. As simple as that. And so it is what it is. It is what it is. I think it's just time, you know. I think it's time for us to become more reclusive, you know. If we're more reclusive, then this works. Because you're not worried about, like I said, every time I listen to, it's to the point now where when I listen to the news and they start talking about this, I'm like, yo, look, none of that pertains to me. We have to get all in this Africa, this Pan-African thing. You know, if we're not all in, then we get distracted. This America thing is a distraction, and everybody knows it. The more that we emphasize Pan-Africanism, and the more we're engaged on not just Africa, but on a world stage, more Black people become global in their outlook and their thinking, the less likely you think about, oh my God, you know, I don't see because I don't understand the mentality, Dinus, when people tell me they're just so scared. Oh, racist white supremacists there. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, and what? What are they gonna do to you that they haven't already done? Oh, but we gotta change their attitudes. We gotta change their hearts and minds. What if they don't want to change?
right.
Have you thought of that? Now, what if they don't want to change? Well, all the Trump voters went out. We got to re-educate them. What the hell has that got to do for me? And when you put those questions to people, they're like, I don't know. What's the solution? I said, look, well, if you look what I've been doing for the last couple of decades and everything, I already got my solution. You know, I know where I want to do, and this is what I'm doing. That's why I'm all relaxed. You know, those people aren't relaxed. They're nervous. They're scared. Oh, I'm so scared. Oh, Orange Man's gonna come back to power. We gotta get Orange Man for stop. We gotta stop Orange Man from ever coming. Look, I don't care about Orange Man. I'm good. I'm gonna be good. You know, you see the Chinese and everybody else fretting over this? No. Why is it that the only scaredy pants out here is a Black man in America? The Black man in America has let the Black woman down. He's let the Black community down. The Black child down. We don't have any freaking real honorable men in Black America. That's why you're so scared. You know, a man doesn't show fear. A man basically is brave. He faces adversity. He faces obstacle adversity as he does anything else. There's just one more thing you got to overcome. That's what's being a man. That's what's being brave. He was like, "Oh, you nervous? No. About Liberia? No. This could happen. I don't give a damn. If you know me, Colin's fearless. I fear nothing. The only thing I fear is the man upstairs, Almighty God." But we have people, black men call themselves God-fearing, but they're not God-fearing. You're man-fearing. You fear failure. You fear the unknown. Somebody got to get Joe Biden, some old crackly old white man, got to give you a plan. What's your plan for Black America? Somebody got to lay it out for you. I mean, I can't get no more ashamed and embarrassed of being a Black American as I am right now. What are you gonna do for Black people? Well, what we got is we're gonna study. Can you explain to me what's the study of racism and?
It's study at the. It's stalling tactic. It's not a study. It's just a stalling tactic. It's a stalling tactic. Here we go. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh no! Oh Lord! Is that my friend?
Sorry about that, yo.
Oh no! Oh no!
Kind of general. What's up, man?
Oh Lord! What's up, Mike?
I'm here to support you today, man. Like your point. See, listen, man. Today, your points are really. I gotta say today, man. You making a lot of sense, man. It's
like you do, man. What's that supposed to mean?
Nah. You've always been making sense, but today's like, as you talk, man, my head is just swelling. Like, damn, man, this brother's making some strong points. You know, you just kind of brought me back to, like, there's something I learned, and I've always trying to like share with people. Like, listen, man, there's some things that most of us don't know that were going on during the time like those, especially during the Cold War era, right? During the Cold War era, because the Cold War went on right after World War II up to this the Soviet Union fell apart in 1990, right? And you were making point earlier about the Black Americans they went to Festac, you know, they came in drove, you know. They've always been doing that. Those Black Americans, those Pan-Africanist Black Americans were always doing that even way before Festac, like right during the 60s and all that time. Now, this is one thing people need to learn, man. Like when those guys come over there and come and meet the African leaders and stuff, what the U.S. government used to do was send another group of Black Americans right behind them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? To engage, like, for example, Festac, you mentioned Festac, the Festac event, right? When those group of Black Americans came and they really brought some impressive, like, their presence was so impressive to the Nigerian government, right? Or I think it was Obasanjo, right? Then right after them, they sent this guy named Andrew Young. Have you ever heard of him?
Yeah, Andrew Young. Yeah,
I live in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Andrew Young he's a guy that represent the U.S. government, dude. Like he's kind of like the Jesse Jacksons of today. They really represent the government.
Jesse Jackson went behind in Liberia, did the same thing,
and they act
the spirit of what's going on and whatnot with unfounded allegations against Liberia. Yeah,
and they'll act like they acting on behalf of Black Americans, right?
Yeah.
But really, what they were doing was acting on behalf of the U.S. government, right? So now the point I'm trying to make is this: during that time, right, when Cold War was going on. The Cold War that was going on back time was really a battle between the U.S. government, the U.S. and the Soviet on who's going to gain more support among nations of the world, right? Especially like African countries. So now the Soviet used to present a case to those African leaders like, listen, man, we never enslaved you, we never colonized you, we never done anything really terrible to you. We should be your friend. But on the other hand, look at America. They took slaves from your land. They colonized you. They've done more evil to you, like the West, right? But then what used to happen was those Pan-Africanist Black Americans, right? When they go to those African government, they used to try to like present what America's doing bad to them. But I don't know if they did a good enough job. But then right behind them, those Uncle Tom that were working for the government would go there and try to convince those African leaders, like, oh man, America's the black country. Oh,
let me give you an example. What I got on my mind, Mike. most people don't know this, right? I'm gonna drop some knowledge on people right now, right? The Ali Foreman fight, 1974, right?
Rumble
Now,
in the Jungle.
Rumble Jungle. Now, some people would say that was a big event and everything was there, but think about something. Now, that fight was originally supposed to take place in Liberia. People don't realize that, right? And Nigeria was bidding for that fight, right? Somehow, Don King, that fight is what made Don King what he is today. Today on top, gave him press, everything, and also that fight also legitimized Mobutu Sese Seko. He put $10 million up, right, because he had bad press all over the world. And then when they show him when he's meeting with a lot of black people don't understand the nuance that Mobutu killed Patrice Lumumba. He had people jailed, everything like that. We completely lose that in this jungle fever thing. We get to Africa. Oh, I'm in Africa.
You know what, Colin? You got a point. Because, okay, so when did the fight, what year did the fight take place?
1974.
When did Lumumba get assassinated? In the 60s or?
It was like several days in 64. He got killed in 64.
Okay, go ahead.
Lumumba was 64. But the thing is, during that time period, Mobutu's consolidate power, right? I mean, just every one thing out of getting rid of this, get rid of that, people disappearing and everything, on the behest of the Belgium, the French, everything. He became a billionaire, As long as you do the bidding of the West, right? It wasn't until Kabila got rid of him in 96, right? Said, look, he came out of the Congo. That was a beast from the Congo, Kabila, Laurent Kabila. I was like, yo, my man, took it to him. And then his sellout ass son right now, his son, Joseph Kabila, right?
That's not a real son, Colin.
Huh?
That's not a real son. That's not a biological son,
No, I know it's not his real son, but his adopted son. Yeah, I know. But I'm saying he had him killed, right? He had his father killed, right? On the behest of international.
Whoa. Had his father killed.
Oh, yeah.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, he was part of it. But no one knows. But I mean, it is part of it, but
well, he took power after it, so it was obvious, obvious. So my point is this, though. The Congo is the richest region in the world. He who controls the Congo controls humanity. If Africans and we black people ever got that right, we're gonna have to have this war. The war of Armageddon is coming, and black people gotta stop cowering. As people are gonna die on both sides and everything. There's gonna be trials and tribulations. People don't like when I'm hearing that, but you don't get salvation. Salvation is not free. You have to pay. Letting the British people control the oil fields in Nigeria is unacceptable. Letting them control the gold, the diamond mines, everything in South Africa is unacceptable.
Kala, let me add to your point about the Congo before we divert from that. You see, you ever heard of this guy named Che Guevara?
Yeah.
Okay, Che Guevara. Okay, let me tell you about how things relate to the Ali, what's his name? George Foreman Ali fight. Okay, now after the assassination of Patrice Lumumba, I know it was Kabila that took over, right? And there was still a lot of pro Lumumba group. They were kind of working with the Soviet. The Soviet were trying to use them to overthrow Mobutu, right? So now the US, of course, they want to put the West put Mobutu there, and Mobutu they wanted him to stay there. So now the proxy war that was going on in Congo that time, it was a matter of who the people was going to side with. Were they going to side with the West, which was Mobutu, or the rebel side, right? Now, the Pan-Africanists, which were the rebels and the people back then, were more like trying to lean towards the rebel because of, more leaning towards the Soviets. But however, America had to put a campaign of, America is a cool country, should side with us. Oh, America is a black nation. Right. So that's why they were using the black American celebrities to push America.
Just like they do now.
They did it because that's why they were pushing it all over African media. You see the Michael Jackson, James Brown, they were just using black America to gain African support. And that's the primary reason why the West succeeded in, outmaneuvering on the Soviet and on the continents. Because
that's the only reason. They use the so-called African American, right? And the bottom line, you can't tell me nothing when Will Smith and Jay-Z and Beyonce and all these people, African just swoon over. But I think it's going to be some pushback, right? If these celebrities think Africans aren't stupid, Africans are not stupid. There will be some pushback. People like, okay, we like Jay-Z, Beyonce, and everything like that. But when you start getting political in Africa, and these days, especially the days of social media, there's going to be people that's going to clap back, and you know it. Your social media is no joke. It worked back in the 70s, but I seriously doubt this is going to go on any longer. And that's what happens. Like Nancy Pelosi, why did she show up at the year of return? What was that all about?
You see, exactly. As soon as the year of return, as soon as real Black Americans were going there, all of a sudden, right behind them, who went right behind them? The ones that work for the government were going right behind them.
Beyonce's mother, when Beyonce's mother was there, T.I., Nancy Pelosi, the Congressional Black Caucus, whatever that thing is. All these people were there. And so
it's so funny because the year of return was supposed to be kind of like a Pan-Africanist move, right?
Oh,
and they changed the whole thing to a diplomatic move,
It became anything but, the Kardashians were there. It's unbelievable, unbelievable what we go through. Because
they've been playing us, man. They've been playing us.
Yeah, they play us and whatnot, but we like being played. I just get it because the black people, the black race, like to be played. We like to be played. We like the attention. It's like with children.
No, the thing is this. Our problem is this, man. Like, I think our problem is we don't have the central leadership that's really out there, like looking at, like giving us information. So the thing is, we all just scramble, just looking for leadership. So looking for information. But unfortunately, people that put money behind propaganda are the enemy. They put money behind the media, things that we consume. It's not our fault, man.
The thing is, we always have people bragging about how much money they got. Snoop Dogg's worth $150 million, everything. None of these people like Snoop Dogg ever put their money in black think tanks and media outlets and propaganda. Imagine if we had that same ability to do investigative journalism and put out propaganda and stuff like that.
But Carla, don't you think it's our fault? Like me and you and those of us that are really conscious, don't you think like we don't do enough work to really? We should be the one like engaging these guys. These guys with the money. The guys with the money don't have the brain. They got
the type of money that's needed to compete with these people. Not playing. I look at this situation with Jay-Z, right? That we got played with that too, with the NFL. First of all,
right.
Played. First of all, Jay-Z said, "I'm fuck the NFL," right? Knowing fully well they were going to come back, and that was a ploy. He's going to come back in the year, talk about, "Oh, I'm going to get Colin Kaepernick back in." That wasn't it. They just got into training. He never went there and everything, right? And then that soothed that crowd off, right? Colin Kaepernick got a big endorsement and everything, $60 million and everything. Suddenly, it was cool. The NFL, the Black Lives Matter protests will continue, but on the side. So all along, they got Jay-Z in there and everything, and now things are back to where they are, where Orange Man's gone out of office, right? And you can go to the Super Bowl now. You got played. You got played. I was sounding the alarm the whole time, man. Something's not right about this Jay-Z thing. Yeah, I'm gonna be a part owner of a team, nigga. We don't care about you owning the damn team. That's just one more notch under your belt. Colin, you a hater. I said, yeah, but if we have a cause or something like that, getting Jay-Z, making Jay-Z richer is not part of the end game.
We have to get to the point where we have to just understand, like, okay, people we need to start following are not people that are famous or celebrities and things like that. People we should follow are people that are actually, brilliant.
Black people don't give a damn about your brilliance. Only thing they consider is how much money you got in the bank account. If you ain't got millions of dollars in the bank account, Florida. Muhammad Ali said he was worth $50-60 million, but he said, look, man, and he was at the time. Muhammad Ali was battling a lot of stuff in America. He said, look, we can't do this. He was battling black exploitation movies, right? But you have they used to sick people like Sly and the Family Stone and all these other people that said, nah, Muhammad's too square, whatever like that, right? So, and they said, and also and then when you see Joe Frazier play, and I love Joe Frazier, a lot of other boxers, they're flashing the rings, everything like that, That was the image of the black. They said anger Ali. Ali said, man, the material stuff is not that important, What's important is the people.
Color. Do you think they might have something to do with like the sickness that Ali had? You think that?
I don't know. All I know was he was saying that battling against this, he was making headway about the black exploitation, the foolishness we do. He was talking about something like that. Suddenly, he developed Parkinson's disease.
Similar thing. Similar thing happened to Bob Marley. The guy that a white guy actually confessed in his deathbed recently that he was the one that injected cancer in Bob
Yeah,
Marley's body.
yeah. Because
And
so Mike, they were supposed to give him some type of injection. It was like the wrong injection or something. Because there was a
Bob
documentary.
Marley? Bob Marley?
No, I'm talking about Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali. Huh.
No,
That
they gave him
needs to be talked about. We got so-called people talk about I'm new black media. New black media. Stop talking about the same old damn thing. Let's talk about that. Let's do some investigating and let's talk about that. Let's set
there was a documentary on that, bro. They gave him the wrong injection or treatment or something, and he started developing Parkinson's. This is back like in the early 80s or late 70s when he was about to retire. Like I think they were giving him like some type of shot or something, and then he got
had one fight in '81 with Larry Holmes. That was in '81.
Because everybody that was during that time, that period, they were trying to do these African or solving social black issues or doing African stuff or anything like that. They were just going after them. Because Bob Marley was about to do African Unite tour all over the continent to unite the continent, kind of, because he became a superstar all over the world. He became the biggest like artist at that time on the continent. Like Bob Marley was everywhere. Then he wanted to do African Unite tour because he was constantly preaching African unity, African unity. And the moment he was planning the tour, next thing we heard, they say he got a cancer. That cancer spread through his body within weeks. And this guy just died like that, dude. And people were like, whoa. That's what I'm thinking. It was the same era, Ali, everybody. It's almost like, if you guys look back, man, almost everyone during the era, they were trying to do like black unity or black.
Yeah, everybody was doing that with race. Man.
Something mysteriously was happening to them, man.
So you could talk about gangs, crime, murder. I got murders. You could have a rap sheet a mile long. 50 Cent, I got shot 9 times. Bobby should murder. Whatever you want to do. You could talk about murdering black men. Everything. You can get invited on Martha Stewart show. You can get invited on Jimmy Kimmel. You know.
Even the moment Tupac himself started being like conscious, and Tupac started being a little bit conscious, though most of his was kind of gangster and shit.
Tupac was not a gangster. He was very conscious, but that one part of his life where he got into that because he was caught up in that thing because the media hyped it up. That fool, what's his name, Luke Campbell, whatever, and these other people at Vibe magazine will keep pumping up that stupid stuff, interviewing people about some so-called East Coast, West Coast beef, and your beef with Biggie. Well, these were two knuckleheads, Biggie and Tupac, were clowns.
I think it was people around them, man. I think it was the people around Tupac.
The bottom line is that they got caught up in hype. You know, people are trying to live a gangster. Look, I've been in the streets. I know this stuff like this. A lot of these reputations people have are fake. When you get in the record studio and whatnot, you become this. I said, nigga, I just saw you working at McDonald's last night. You in the studio. I saw your record. Yeah, nigga working part-time McDonald's through the drive-thru. Talking about, yeah, we're gonna pull this cake. It's not convincing, you know.
I think we need to start condemning all that gangster shit. It's like we show too much.
Hold on one second. We have 165 people watching, only 66 likes. Guys, hit the like button. Guys, please hit that like button, or Colin's going to sing the song. Please, guys, hit that like button. I'll go ahead, Colin.
Yeah, so
go ahead. No, hold on. Go ahead, Mike. Sorry about
that. Yeah, I think we have to get to the point where we just have to start condemning those. Like it's almost like we show respect to all these gangster things, and it was more gangster, it was stronger, it was. We need those things, man. We need to start condemning.
You know what gets me is, check this out. Everything has its place, right? If you go to Italian, I grew up with a lot of Italian Americans, right? And I didn't know until like years later, only one of my friends was connected with Mafia, my friend. I can't say his name on the air. But the bottom line is, man, I slept over his house, said, yeah, he was like telling me, I said, oh, I get it now. Why he was so offended when I was talking about the Mafia. Anyway, but if you look at, I grew up around Italians, Jews, and everything like that, a lot of Italian Americans, right? Majority of them, the Mafia, if you really knew Italians, right? The Sopranos, all that stuff is garbage. It's nothing, you know. Everybody knows that, you know. They have the privilege of being white in America, and they can be okay. This is fun, Italian mafia thing. But black people, right? Since we're in America, we have never established ourselves either in Africa or really in America to say this is who we are. And then when we establish ourselves, this is who we are, right? Someone's gonna come behind and say, no, that's not who you are. This nigga shit over here, that's what you are, right? You know, it's like no matter what we do, there's black communities in New York and places like that are thriving. Connecticut, that's been there for a
Mhm.
couple hundred years, thriving. But you don't know nothing about that
And
because
I
the
think
face
another
of
thing we need to start doing it. We need to start highlighting our positive things. The
and also
positive.
let me say something too, Mike. Right? This is a point that's been brought out, right? And I saw this in a magazine. I think it was Vibe magazine, right?
Mhm.
How Jewish record producers and cultures, everything like that, right? Have
Yeah.
always had a historical influence on how black people are portrayed to the world, right?
Mhm.
You know, a lot of the stereotypes that we get released from Jewish producers in Hollywood and stuff like that, and the record industry and everything. And people will tell them, look, that's not really what we are. Just like which one about hip hop. Well, hip hop came was about fun, everything like that, right? The
Yeah.
Jews got in there and said, so we can make this about money. Let's start talking more about this. Let's start talking about more about
I
that.
think the government is behind it too, man. It's not just the businessman.
Whoever the government, but bottom line is this. So they say like this. Now, how do you monetize it? Because black people are gonna buy it. It's not for black people, right? The majority of black music and everything is marketed towards white America. They're the consumers of it. They're consuming your own damnation, your own destruction. And black kids get out there, they got to be more hard and more gangster and everything like that because they know it sells. The black kids aren't buying all this stuff. It's white kids. Or white kids are buying 90% of stuff that they're the ones downloading all the millions of downloads. If a rapper's going to make $1 million in downloads, it ain't coming from black people. It's coming from whites, Chinese, everybody else who likes singing black destruction. They get entertainment off of it.
I
That's
think I
true.
think one of the reasons why people allow their children to consume those things is just to tell the children that look at them, look at these people, stay away from them, man. That's
Oh yeah, no, the white
to
kids
tell their
they
daughters, stay
let
away
their
from the
kids
black man. The black man is a criminal.
let me tell you,
That's the game they're playing, dude. And then
yeah,
they feed our
a lot of
children.
black people
Oh
are
my
too.
god.
A lot of black people are too smart enough to realize the reason why the white people let their kids listen to that is because they know they'll figure it out. They're like, okay, let them listen to all these rappers. Like they know you could. Yeah, I'll listen. I remember one episode of Tony Soprano. His son AJ had to, but he's like, see, wear one of those hoods like the Moulin Leons you listen to. They know their kids listen to this stuff, but they know they got to come into the real world, which is the white world eventually. And that
All
same
right.
white boy is gonna figure it out, like they always do. White people listen to rock and roll. Remember that? They were rock and roll. Yeah. Same white guy, they're on Wall Street. Some things change, but they know the social order doesn't change. You
But
know?
Carlos, hey, Dennis, I think we got to get to a point where we ourselves just got to say, you know what? It's not white people got to be pointing finger at, man. We got to point finger at ourselves because white people are gonna do what they're gonna do in their own best interest. Because to them, they're looking for ways like, okay, how can we make sure this black zone rise above us or catch up with us or do good because their success
You
will be our
cannot have,
failure. So we
like I said, every old saying, this was it? This town's not big enough for the two of us. America's not big enough for two nations. You got to have a master race and a subordinate race. And the master race is always seen exemplify all his everything. You got more white trash than you got black people who are doing bad things. But the white
Mhm.
trash is not exemplifying what white people are. You
That's
get
when remember when Eminem came out? Remember when Eminem came out and started
yeah.
rapping? You guys remember? Like you guys are old enough. Dennis, I know you're old enough too, man.
I
The
remember
white
Eminem.
people came out and protesting and
Oh,
like
they hated
no,
it. They Bill O'Reilly because they said your Eminem's trailer trash and he's talking about stuff like that because they didn't want to be exposed that this side of white America
yeah, this
really
side of
exists
white
anymore.
America exists exactly.
They say that's what it is. That's what it's all about. He's white trash and everything. We don't need to like that. But he beat them at their own game. He said, "Yeah, I'm gonna tell my thing. I'm gonna tell my story. I come from the poor, and whatnot. And bottom line, I got beat up by black people. I had black friends. I had black girlfriends. It ain't all the white. I was poor. I was broke, and everything like that. Broken family. Me and my mother don't get along. I don't know who my father is. Everything. That was matter of fact before Eminem, man. I even though I knew this, right? Matter of fact, when I was growing up, right, I used to
Mm,
know most of the white boys I knew were like Eminem, right?
mhm.
But on television,
On
right,
television,
it was Bobby Brady.
the thing is,
In real life, I grew up with Eminem, but on television, all I saw was Bobby Brady. That's the white boy on
Mhm.
television. You know.
dude, I didn't know white people had so many trash, man. Until I moved to around white people, man. I'm telling you, like around like poor middle class, lower class white people. they are worse than dude. I literally went from black neighborhood thinking black neighborhood was bad, so I moved to poor white neighborhood. These guys do drugs like they are
Oh man, the
terrible, dude.
bottom line, yo, you go to
But
them
I
poor
was
white
shocked
neighborhoods.
because I never knew white word that kind of white word exists. I didn't know, dude.
But that's what they tell a lot of black brothers from Africa. Oh, just go to white there. Yo, bro, I grew up in upstate New York, man, Orange County. I'm gonna tell you right now. I grew up around bikers, white bikers, and everything. I've seen whole white towns. I used to do work for this company, and we used to drive sometimes on around the mountains. A lot of mountains right now. Sometimes we used to stop in the truck on the side of the road when it was hot, right? I used to look down over the cliff on rivers, and I used to see abandoned towns, cars burnt out. When I said, "What the hell happened here?" Whole towns were just like they were abandoned, and you could see the friggin'. You could obviously it was drugs and all kinds of town. You know how many white towns and stuff like that disappear and die, and upstate New York. Upstate New York is dead.
But they
Almost
would
every
never
town in
present that side
upstate
of the
New York.
white word to us. They would never put that on TV or
Of
anything
course
or
not.
show the
They
word.
always want to put the worst side of black America on television when I.
That's what it
And
shows
so,
on the continent too. Like everybody on the continent just think every white person is highly educated and just intelligent, brilliant, and but you don't know that they have their own useless, uneducated, ignorant.
right.
You know
You
the
can't
worst.
tell. You
You know
can't.
the funny thing, Carla and Dennis. The thing is this: when I went around Black American, they were not educated, right? They still had this natural wisdom, right? Dude, we're not hanging around these illbillies, these white boys with no education. They have no natural intelligence, no natural. These guys were
They don't need
completely.
anything. They couldn't even point to your country on the map. You know.
No,
You know.
even the way they think that they're so primitive, dude. These guys, the way they behave, man. These guys, they're like they're like they're so primitive. Like the kind of things they even do, they will use their hands to pick up reptiles. They do stupid things, and when they speak, no logic is zero. And I'll say, why are you so
They don't have.
stupid? Well, I
They
didn't go
don't
to
have a
school.
society that takes care of them, that caters to them, that everything's gonna be all right when it comes down. No matter what you say and everything like that, when it comes down to if you're a white male, when not, even if black people are rooting for you, because you can't have a white guy go hungry. That's not the part of the plan in America. The
Hmm.
bottom black people feel more bad about the whites losing their job than black people do. Than white people do. Black people, white people losing their jobs, man. I can't have that, man. We're used to suffering. So that's what it is. That's what we have in America. But the thing is, my whole thing is, as we start talking about Africa and stuff like that, that should be our game. That's where we should rule. That's where we should have whole sway and stuff like that. And that's the way it's going to be. And we can't have African brothers, right? Who basically, when they see African American in Africa and equate black people in America with the coming to Africa as they do Lebanese and everything, that's unacceptable.
Now, can you explain more? Like just that way, I fully understand.
In other words, it's not so much it is now. I think it's getting better. But when it's not so much Black America, right? What I get bothered by, right, is when I hear, let's say, Liberians and everything talk about the number of Nigerians in Liberia,
Mm-hmm.
and I know for a fact of the matter is, even all the xenophobia right now, several Somali successful owned department stores were burned down in Durban,
South Africa.
South
Yeah.
Africa, and all the comments on the thing saying, "Yeah, go back to your own country" and all stuff like that. And I'm saying to myself, as an African American, right? What makes me think that can't happen to me?
Nah, listen, man. See,
I'm not. Well, why? I mean, I don't.
let me put it this way, man. I think the whole xenophobia thing with South Africa and all these places, I think it's been kind of blown way out of proportion. Now,
see that,
let me
bro. I have
let
to
me explain it.
disagree.
Let me explain it. See, the thing is this: when you go to South Africa, right? For example, Nigeria, right? There are two categories of Nigeria that go to South Africa. They are the ones they're there, investors, professors, and all those kind of people, right? And where they go is really the upper class area where they are wanted, where they contribute, they're adding to the society. Now, let me just complete it, and I'll tell you about the other side. Those kind of people are highly respected. When I meet South Africans, they will tell they'll tell you, oh, a lot of our professors are Nigerians, and a lot of these business invest people that these successful businessmen are Nigerians, and I had respect for them. But now that's another category of Nigerians or other Africans that come to South Africa. These ones, they're not there to invest; they're actually there to reap. They go to the poorest part of South Africa, right? Like the slums, that the people there, the economy there is so slow and like not really robust. And you dare to go? It's like you leave your own slum to go to another slum to compete with the people in the slum. It does not make sense. So those are the kind of people that.
But Mike, Middle Eastern, Chinese, Koreans, Arabs, they do the same thing here in America. They do the
They
same
go
thing
to
here.
the slum in South Africa.
No, I'm talking about I'm talking about America, and they're in the slums too.
Well, in America, it's a whole different.
Let me say something, Mike. Everybody's there trying to make a dollar. You know, nobody knows. Look. Somalis.
Hold on, one second, Colin. Guys, hit that like button. Please hit the like button. If you want to call in, Uhuru at searchforUhuru.com is the call in. Send me an email. And I will send you again. Uhuru at searchforUhuru.com. Send me an email. And I will send you the link. But Mike, but the thing is, so you're talking about Nigerians. The people that were shot out this last time and who were shot in the attack were Somalis.
Yeah. What did they do? These people said, "Look, we did everything right, came here and everything." And what gets me is you got a lot of South Africans who are just jealous. South Africans reminds me of Black Americans a lot, right? We have this high, like a lot of South Africans consider themselves different. You know, they're better. Oh, the Africans are coming here. You know, like Africa is not even part of South Africa, not even part of Africa because they live on the white man's grid. You know, and they live on the white man's infrastructure, right? So Black people in America live on a white man's infrastructure, even though we probably helped build this place, right? The bottom line is we have a different way. We see people as, oh, these people are less than us, and they're coming over here taking jobs and opportunities. It's like this stupid thing with Daniel Kaluuya, you know, brilliant actor. Somebody's gonna talk about, oh, he's playing Fred Hampton. Who the fuck? I mean, and all this stuff is going viral. And all this stuff, if people don't understand, is to damage the relationship between let's say everybody's all going to be in a tribal group, Mike. You know, Africa. I'm always.
Yeah, but Danny, sorry, Carla, let me defend Black Americans, man.
Hold on, let me finish.
Yeah, go ahead.
Everybody's going to be in their little groups, everything like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But why is it that the white man can see the bigger picture, whiteness, you know, and the black man, right, will go on about friggin' Daniel Kaluuya, whatever like that. Oh, Somalis and everything. No one gives a damn about the Somalis getting burned out and everything. So what and everything. You know, the idea of it's almost like we're scared to stand up to the world in solidarity as a race and say black first in this country. You know, you're black, you're welcome. We're scared to say that. We're scared to tell the world that these countries actually belong to black people. Whites and everybody else, Lebanese are moving in droves in Africa. You know, I know when I get on a plane tomorrow and whatnot, and I'm gonna see all these white. I don't know what I'm gonna think. You know, all these white Americans and everything heading to Liberia at the same time I am and everything like that. You know, I'm already told. People tell me, just be prepared. Don't collar. They tell me collar. Just deal with it. You know, just deal with it. You know, it is what it is. You know, and you know it is what it is.
Collar. See that situation to me. I'll be honest with you. It's not peculiar to any particular society. The thing is this: anyway, going to war, the poorest of the poorest people, a lot of them became very poor because they're stupid. And poverty, I'm not saying all poor people are stupid, but I'm saying like when people are in poverty, right? Some people understand that reason why I'm here. Hey, it's my fault. I got to get out of here. I have nobody else to blame, you know. And those people usually get out of it. And the other category of people that when they're poor or they're in a situation, they don't look at themselves and say, "Hey, I'm responsible for this. I need to get out of it." They always find someone to blame. You understand? So in any society you go, those people are always going to be there. Like in America, for example, a black American person that left there in the hood that knows that, listen, I can get out of here, right? All it would take is me to get out of here. He doesn't look at another person and say, this guy's my problem. You understand? He gets out. And I know a lot of black Americans like that. They walk out and get out of the hood. They don't complain, no point finger, Africans. If I didn't love Africans, even their perspective is we want you guys to come in and increase our numbers and we have to work together. I know a lot of black Americans like that. You understand? The ones that are doing all these rubbish about, oh, look at them, they're my problem. They didn't want to come here to take shit from me. They're doing this. Those ones that they have given up. Like they don't believe that their problem is all on them. They always find someone else to blame. It's the same thing in South Africa. It's anywhere you go in the world. White people do the same thing, I'm telling you. Even when white immigrants were coming to America back in those days, the poor whites, they were xenophobic towards the European whites. Like, You know, I mean, if you study American history, when the Italians, the Irish were coming, they poor whites, they're useless ones. They don't know how to get out of the situation. We're blaming their problems on those white immigrants. They were coming from Europe back then. So it's a issue of people. Their poverty has turned to poverty have made them made stupid. Those are the people they are behaving like that, and they're not going nowhere. The only thing we can do is whenever they're behaving like that to represent the rest of us, let us speak up and let them know, let everybody know that hey, this guy here is talking like that because he's stupid. He's not representing the rest of us. He's not representing Black
Check
Americans.
this out. And what the problem is with a lot of Black people is this, right? Is that we don't understand what is right. So let me give you an example. What we have in our community is this, right? There's no standard bearer, right? If somebody's doing all the right things, right, everything in life and everything in right, like what's this guy, Robert Smith, right? $40 million to Morehouse graduates, right? Oh man, geez, his second wife is white. Time to cancel. We don't know how to stand behind our institutions, right? Our institutions don't really feel like they have a responsibility to us. Now, all our institutions are now co-opted towards the democratic political machine. One thing I did like back in the 60s, right? Do you know that when the civil rights movement was going around and they was trying to go around Black churches, do you know less than like 13% of Black churches participated in it?
I agree. I could see that.
Yeah, less than 13% of most Black churches said, we don't want, what are you talking about? You know, okay, we got integrated. Most Black people lived in integrated areas all around the country. You only talk about.
Well, when MLK died, his approval rating was low.
Check this out. Black people didn't care about Martin Luther King, right? Because he was a product of the media. Martin Luther King, right? That's how the media was. Black people in the North and everything like that didn't care about that. It wasn't until he was died and white people started talking about him, and then who was it? Johnson talked about it, whatever like that. Then Black people, MLK and everything like that. But we didn't care about the MLK, you know, when he was alive. No one cared about him.
Yeah, Carla, to your point, man, like I think the Black community, what the Black community suffered was a brain drain. And even to today's thing going on. And Martin Luther King is somebody I respect a lot, but I think they use his movement to promote their brain drain. You understand? The whole
we used to have areas where
because white people are interested in sucking the brains out of the Black community and bringing them to their own area.
Right. And that's
you understand?
Check this out. That is a miserable life when you know for a fact that it's all about tribalism, right? White people are a tribe. And like Max Robinson said, Max Robinson quit the news business, right? Because he was tired of where they would give him a story, go in the Black community, find out all the underlying problems, blah, blah, blah. He's like, what they do damn underlying problems?
Hey, you sound just like a find all the underlying
problem. What is the unrest and everything? Stop pissing people off and there won't be the unrest. He said, we got communities just anybody else, you know? We got problems that need to be addressed and everything. But their whole thing was these people are just so hopeless. And they're like that. He said, look, there's good people in my community and everything. Good people, you would be amazed. People have morals. White people always thought they were the moral authority and they could teach us how to be ourselves. As a white man, they forget that it was Black women who raised the white children and whatnot, you know? While they're off doing what they want to do and whatnot, it was Black women who reared their children and everything like that. But they make it seem like it's the other way around. Like they were suckling our kids and everything, you know?
Hey, Carla, Dennis, let me ask you guys a question, man. What was Dr. Martin Luther King thinking when he made his statements that he has a dream that one day the Black person and the white person will be sitting down and be drinking coffee as brotherhood? Come on, man. That part of his speech I don't like, man. When you know very well that it's not a white man's interest that you and him he would never, by nature, it's not in the interest that you and him will be sitting on the table of brotherhood. You understand? And that dream, that speech, they keep making our children recite that speech.
And do you know? Black Lives Matter. They play.
Kala, do you know in a white school they don't allow white children to recite their speech, Martin Luther King's speech? But in every Black school, every Black kid must memorize that speech. What does that tell you? They're selling that shit to you. That hey, keep hope alive.
But let me say another thing. Check this out, Mike. Notice how when they always talk about black and white getting together, they're always doing something destructive, burning out buildings and everything like that, right? Listen to this point, right? Now the GameStop thing, right? You had a bunch of young white boys that made off of millions of dollars, and you got Negroes on Facebook. Man, I'm gonna get nigga. They might think about your little $1,000 investment, you know? This motherfucker, yo, those white boys were collaborating together and everything. When it comes down to making money and making moves, you don't see no black guys in the circle.
The only one thing I've learned in this country, dude, and it's only time a white man will fuck with you is when you got something to offer. That's it, man. It's a black person.
Right,
He's all about his interest.
Benefit you, their interest. They don't want nothing. They don't fuck with
nothing else to do with you, man. They can be the nicest person to you.
Now, that's what Negroes don't understand. Like when it comes down to money, like me, I got white business associates. Why? Because we make money together, you know, and they know they can't make money without me because I'm above them and whatever like that. And that's what it is. We make money together. It's equal. It's a partnership, and that's why I was telling. Man, how's your trip? Yo, you gonna enjoy yourself over there? Yeah, man. I'll see you when you get back, man. We're gonna get back to the business. Yeah, we're gonna be doing that. Bottom line, it's all about the money and everything. You gotta the power, you know. Negroes have
Kala, let me tell you something, Kala. I have these couple of guys, right? He's one African guy, a couple of Black American guys. They're working for this white guy, right? And they're like the engine of his business, man. This guy is making so much wealth and he's using them. So I'm like, I called him. I said, guys, why don't you guys be entrepreneur minded and kind of like look into starting your own business and maybe compete with this guy's business? You know what they told me? We've been working for Mr. Stevenson for 10 years. Been so good to us. He's taking care of us. He's giving us a lot of benefits. He's giving a lot of.
He good people.
Huh?
That's what they say. He good people.
You good people. When I said, listen, this man does not give a fuck about you. He is lying to you guys to give you this benefit because he's making millions of your back. Like, don't say because they're nice to you. It's business. White people know how to be. They'll give it a smile. That big smile. They'll make you like, oh, they love me. This and that. Give them the same smile back, but focus on your interest, man. I keep telling black people, they always mind. What's your secret of success? The secret of success is, I understand it's all about interest. I get around white people, I smile, everything, give them farm shake, everything. I don't give a fuck about them. A lot. We do business, that's it, you know. There's no emotion involved when I'm dealing with these cats, man. Like, I don't go insulting them saying, you're a white devil. No, I don't do that. I smile and everything, shake hands. But my interest is back of my mind. And I always tell a lot of blacks, listen, when you're dealing, a lot of black people work in a company and like, man, they're not promoting me because I'm black. It's because you're not playing your game, dude. Forget the race for now. Just focus on interest. Find out what the white man's interest is and go for it. That's the center of his gravity. Convince him that you there for his interest, for his best interest. Get it comfortable and rip him off. Fuck it. Now, I'm not promoting ripping somebody off. But I'm saying, like, black people, we have to learn how to play the game, man. We can't forget emotion. Like,
after this election, man, I really don't doubt that black people will ever learn the game, anything like that. You know, the game is, you know, we are getting played and we don't like being played. We're fools. We're never going to benefit and everything like that. Now it's to the point where, goddamn, I'm embarrassed, you know? I'm embarrassed.
We're looking for love. The white man will love us. Come on, man.
You know, we got to change their hearts and minds.
Let's fight racism.
Let's fight racism together. You know? I'm saying to myself, I need to get out of here. 3 weeks. I need to get out of here, you know?
Kala, you ever see the Chinese man in America say, oh, let's fight racism? They had to compete. Everybody else had to compete.
They went to the Chinese with this decades ago and said, what? They gave them all the script. You say, we shall overcome. Black and white love together. I have a dream. They say, get the fuck out of here. So they went on to Martin Luther King. They'll say, okay, we got him. We got the Southern Baptist preacher. Here we go. You know, look at the civil rights movement, you know. They went to the other people and they rejected them. You know, they said, no, man.
Kala, you notice the Chinese people from the 60s and 50s, they all took their talent from America and they took it to China, man.
I say it's a China. Like I said earlier, I said like when I was talking about that special I saw Lisa Ling, right? When she was talking about the Chinese went to her. I was shocked at this, right? Because this was like about years ago, right? And I'm sitting there like, okay, I'm interested in this because I'm thinking I plan on going to Africa one day and everything like that. And the Chinese, like I said, well, what's the difference? He's a Chinese American. Okay, he's removed from most of it's Chinese culture, right? So the thing was, black people, we're so far removed from Africa. His ancestors were in New York for 200 years, right? He was able. He sounds like, if you talk to, you ever see Chinese people that they've been in here for generations. They sound like an average white guy, in their voice and
Yeah.
their accent, And he said, yeah, that. But I said, he goes, why are you in China? Well, this is Chinese. But he goes, in America, I felt like a foreigner all the time. I said, even though he speaks perfect English, everything, and he likes the New York Yankees, and he goes to the games. He likes hockey and all the stuff like that. He's an American kid. Guy grew up an American kid. But the bottom line is, he felt comfortable in China, not just Hong Kong, China. He went to Beijing, China. That's the difference. Hong Kong is more urbanized, modern. But he
Kala,
felt right there in
Hey, we
China.
got a new call. Dee, go ahead.
Hi, Dynast. Hi,
Hey,
Kala. Mike.
Hey, how
How
you
you
doing?
guys doing?
How you doing? All
Hey,
right.
I just wanted to say that, living here in America as an African American is exhausting.
Yeah.
It's everything. I seem like I have to fight for everything. For example, for fair pricing, they give them better prices than they give us. We pay more for things than they do. Um, Even education. The other day I was trying to get my daughter back into school, a public school, mind you. She was transferring from virtual school back into a public school. They told me that they could not enroll her in school because she was a semester behind. Now she's in high school and she was going into the 11th grade. And that makes absolutely no sense. So and you know what they suggested? They suggested that I enroll her in an adult education program. Can you believe that?
And get her GED?
A public school. Now
And get her GED?
say it again, Dynast.
And get her GED?
Dynast, I
And
can't
get
hear
her
you. Breaking up a little
GED?
bit.
And get her
Say
GED?
it.
Get her.
Yeah, exactly. Now she's 17. She turned 17 in October of last year. And I asked the principal, I said, well, is this her only alternative? And he said, yes, this is her only alternative. I said, so let me make sure I'm understanding you correctly. What you're saying is that you cannot and will not enroll my daughter in the school that she's zoned to go to because she's one semester behind. And you're saying that her only alternative is to go to a GED program. And he says, yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. I said, can you send me that in writing? He never did, by the way. He never sent that to me in writing, but I escalated the matter to the superintendent of education as well as each one of the board members. And the next day I got a call saying that, yes, they were going to enroll my daughter. But at that point in time, I didn't want my daughter to even go to that school. So what I ended up doing was transferring her to a different school. But, at that point, I didn't have to jump through a lot of hoops. But, it's like, how many other African American kids are going through this school and they're telling these parents these kinds of things and they're just taking it as is? I was actually why would you recommend an adult education program for a child? It's ridiculous to me. So, in my mind, I'm like, how many other kids or parents are you telling this to, and they're buying it? Okay. But this is just one of the things that I have to go through on, I feel like it happens so often, on jobs. My kids, they have jobs, little jobs and what have you. And they'll give somebody else hours who came in after them more hours. So, and I told my daughter, I said, you should speak to your manager about it. And I said, well, one or two things will happen if we send her an email on it. I said, she's either going to give you more hours or no hours. Either way, you're going to have to look for another job. Now, one of my neighbors next door, her daughter has a job making $15 an hour. She's around my daughter's age. Works at the same place, came in after her, and she gets a lot more hours. So I'm trying to figure out, it's just things like that every day. It's like it's something new that comes up. And when you look at your, your white counterparts, and they're not experiencing these things. So
Right.
we walk around with a lot of, I walk around expecting sometimes not to be treated fairly. And I know that's a lot of
Now
stress to
let me
walk
ask you,
around with.
sister. Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Now, we had an election, inauguration a week and a half ago, almost 2 weeks ago. Do you expect Joe Biden? He said he was going to sign some executive order ending racism and stuff like that. Do you expect your burden to be lifted with his executive order?
No, I don't. I don't expect anything to change. But I'm going to tell you this. I don't expect anything to change. But I did vote for Joe Biden.
Oh Lord.
Okay, I'm going to tell you, I did vote for Joe Biden because what we've experienced in the last 4 years, I didn't like the race wars that were going on.
Let me ask you a question, sister. Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Do you think those race wars just started with Donald Trump, or do you think that this stuff, like I've been studying stuff for decades, let me ask you a question, right?
Go ahead.
There was more police killings under Obama, right? And they did nothing about the Justice Department, did nothing than Trump. There's more mass deportations under Obama. And the only difference between Obama and Trump was the media decided that whatever was Ferguson and everything wasn't Obama's fault. Trayvon Martin wasn't Obama's fault. They decided that every shooting in America was Donald Trump's fault. And that's only because, right, in 2016, right, the reason why Donald Trump won was because black people stayed home. So they said like this: we're gonna get you to the polls by minutes. This is why you're feeling what you're feeling, right? They don't care about your emotion. They're not trying to solve this problem, right? Mm-hmm. They want to use that, right? They know that the only thing they can use with black people is fear and emotion. Is fear and emotion. So we believe, we just get rid of Donald Trump and everything's going to be better. And it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So, at least you got rid of Donald Trump. Okay, that's fine. A lot of people don't like Trump. I get that. Okay, yeah. Whatever that.
Well,
but
let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Honestly, when Trump first started campaigning way back when, I was a Trump supporter. I was on. I mean,
the media.
Honestly, I'm a capitalist. Okay, I'm a capitalist. I believe you should work for what you get. I believe in certain things. Some of my views are Republican views, and some of them are Democratic views. I have to tell you that. So, but when I backed off of Trump is when he started talking more about not speaking up against a lot of the violence that was going on against African Americans.
Let me ask you a question about it. Can you be specific, right? I mean, we had when you talk about the police violence. Huh?
Charlottesville. What happened in Charlottesville?
Okay, there were no black people. There were no black people involved in Charlotte. There was one black man. There was only one black man involved in Charlotte. That was white. That was Antifa and the white. Now, why? See, what gets me is why is this when it's time to turn off the television? When there hasn't been any direct conflict between blacks and whites in this whole time, right? It's between Antifa punks, right, some BLM and some far right people. The vast majority of people are not involved in this. These are people who are enthusiasts on both sides, and you have anarchists on both sides. People that show up just to loot, riot, and everything like that. That's the truth. So therefore, between the right wing, the Proud Boys, and all these other people, right, and Antifa, that's between them. The black people in America, the majority of black people in America have nothing to do with this. Because of the racial tinge in the air, we feel the need to jump in there. Oh, we're getting oppressed. Let these people fight it out. Let them fight it out. Why? When are we gonna sit back and be like, something, I'm good, and watch the shit show?
Kala, let me ask you a question, man. Like, I just want to try to understand something, It's like when the lady came on, it's like she kind of expressed like things that she's going through, like how she's been treated and things like that in community, how, she feel like she has no one to help her, But it seems to me like the way you responded, the way you directed the conversation is kind of like, okay, who did she vote for? Who politicians and all these things, And I feel like you kind of like trying to imply that the problem is who people are voting for, and the solution is in the hands of the right politician. But to me, if that's what you're, I don't know, I'm not trying to say, but if that's what your uh, belief is, I don't agree with you. This is what I think. What's going on in the African American community is this: the black intellectuals, the black philanthropists, they fail their communities because what it is, like I said earlier, that's a big brain drain in the African American community, right? And I'll give you an example. I'll prove it with this fact. When I first came to US, right, the first place I came was Houston. And anybody from Houston that's watching can tell you this. In the south part of Houston, the southwest, right, there's a long street called Bel Air, right? On the other side, there's another street called Bissonnet, right? Now, Bel Air is like the Chinese streets, Chinese neighborhood, the Asians, right? And on the other side, the street there, Bissonnet, is like the black streets, black street, right? Now, the high school I went to is in between. So that high school was predominantly black and Asians, predominantly. Now, the Asians and the blacks that I went to high school with, right? The ones that went to college, they became the lawyers and, lawyers, engineers, doctors, those Asians. Guess where they're still living? In that Bel Air. They came in, start businesses there, build their homes there. They call that place home. But my black American brothers that I went to high school with, they became successful, they became lawyers and engineers and things. Guess where they are living right now? Way on the other side of town in the white community. So what I'm saying is this: in that neighborhood, the Chinese neighborhood, the Chinese guy that grew up seeing racism, they might have seen because that time the Chinese didn't have power back then. It was white people running everything. Today, that Chinese guy that might have witnessed that oppression when he was growing up, we understand that today I'm a lawyer. I'm not going to allow anybody oppress another Chinese kid that's growing up right now in this neighborhood right here. But the black American kid that's growing up today, that's experiencing what this lady's son or daughter is experiencing, I guarantee you, the black American guy that was growing up at that time saw this same problem. But he became a lawyer. And rather than him saying, listen, this thing that happened when I was growing up that I witnessed, this oppression, these things, I'm going to stay in my neighborhood and change it. And be the lawyer to represent this lady. To where I will give a phone number that, hey, any of you going through this issue, call me. I'll come to represent you. Carla, don't you think that's a better solution? That the black intellectuals, these people come back to the community and look out for people like this lady, rather than just be.
Has one single problem, right? Right. Other people are free. They choose intellectuals, and we have an intellectual debate. We used to have those back in when I was a kid and everything. Oh, intellectual. Now, right? We have. Okay. This is what happened in the 90s, right? I got no time for fake niggas. Just sip some real ones with the real niggas. It's all about the Benjamin, right? So that right there, that's what the Asians criticize black people are. It's like, yeah, we got temptation, everything like that, but we kept our culture and intellect, everything. They got an intellectual class that the thought process, they got their own social clubs and everything that do that. Black America is just the opposite. We don't have that. The only thing we had was the church, right? Outside the church and everything is anything goes. Nobody respects black intellectuals. Why? Because they don't have any power.
No, they do. They do.
They don't have any money and power.
Let me
no,
say
Carla,
this.
sorry.
No. I kind of agree. I agree with Mike to a large extent. And, African Americans, I'm just Black Americans, whatever we want to call ourselves. It seems like sometimes when we do reach a certain status or a certain educational plateau, we do move out of our communities. And sometimes we don't necessarily reach back or even stay or live in the communities to help out. And I got to be honest, I'm guilty of it. But let me say this to you. But understand this as well. When I look around my neighborhood, I might be pretty, middle class. I would say I'm middle class for the most part, but middle class African American and middle class white Americans are two different things. I live in an area where, the houses cost $300,000. Now, if I were white with my educational background, I'd probably live in a community where I was making $600,000. But because I'm African American, I don't make the kind of money that I'm supposed to make for what I do. You know what I mean? So I find myself around whites who don't really have the educational background that I have. So I'm in that community, right? But that's the $300,000
Let me ask you a
community.
question. Let me ask you a question. What is your definition of are you defining a community by the area you live in, or by a set of norms, gatherings, social networks, and everything? What is a community? As a neighborhood. But like I said, I realize now that people like me, where I live at, when I can't tell you who my neighbor is. I can't recognize anybody when people see me. Oh, how you? I don't know you. Lived on the block for 3 years. When I said I see people in the store, I don't recognize them. We don't live in that sort of, when you say neighborhood, right? That assumes that people are community, and even in black neighborhoods, right? Everybody stays to themselves.
Yeah,
that's not a community. That's a neighborhood.
It's not a community. I live in a particular area. It's not a community, and that's
it's an area. It's not a neighborhood. That word community is very specific. Mike asked about a community, an intellectual. Black people are not communing. The only community we really have is social media.
That's right.
So therefore, when people the community, there is no community. Because we're not community. If we had a community, we wouldn't have crime in our community area, right? But there'll be people protecting their neighborhoods, right? People safe to walk the streets. In the black areas and whatnot. Those are not communities, those are areas. As soon as you get a pay raise, right, you are out of there. And you don't look back. I tell you about the story. I tell this all the time, right? I had this lady, right? She worked at a KFC, right, in the hood part of town, right? And also, Miss Such and Such, she was an elder, right? She was like in the 70s, right? Miss Such and Such, everybody loved her. Oh, Miss Such and Such, yeah. She's like, and she's always like giving that grandmotherly, everybody she worked with, she was a manager, right? Mm-hmm. One time I saw her in Virginia Beach. I said, hey, don't I know you? Don't you used to work at? Oh, I'm out of there. I moved up. 73 years, this was like 5 years ago. 73 years. I got this condo over there. And I said, oh, those places are nice. I saved for 3 years. And I said to myself, well, what about the people? You were such a pillar in the community with the young girls. She was like, I got to do something for myself. She go, we got a pool, we got the sauna, we got a movie house, clubhouse, and my neighbor's right here. I like that. So first I was angry that she, pillar, this was like 5-6 years. How dare she move out of that area, How dare she? She go, I want something good for myself, And so the bottom line is, for the most part, when you say black areas, right, it's always an area where there's poor black people that get stuck there and they got a bunch of problems. And then as soon as black people get money, they're getting out of there. So white people regentrify the area. They say, you don't want to be here. We know that. So we're going to come in here and regentrify the area because black people haven't learned to love themselves. You can't. I don't understand.
That's right.
We don't love ourselves because we're in a situation where the media, right? I know you voted for Biden, but I'm telling you right now, it's going to be worse. Because they're going to keep telling you how poor you are, how downtrodden you are. And it's going to, in the situation you said about black people having pride and love themselves, it's just gotten worse. At least Trump, there was an escape. Okay, we don't need nobody. We can pretend ourselves. That was our chance to bond with ourselves and not need any of these parties. But we went back to the Democratic Party because we like being helpless and hopeless, and they got to care for us. And when you have that, the people that say, I don't want to be around these people. I want to get naturally people like I'm getting out of here. I'm going for myself, and then we sit back and play. The people don't stay in the community. Well, you just made it a hopeless situation. You just tell us that the Democrats and everybody's going to take care of us for the next 5 years. We're not pulling together. We're not building Africa and everything. That's what it's about. And the people like so I'm out.
Kala, I got to be honest with you. I voted for Biden honestly because I was afraid.
Fear. You gotta stop. You gotta stop with that.
Let me tell you what I was afraid of. Let me tell you what I was afraid of. I was afraid that Trump would be in for another 4 years, and that would give the good old boys walking around here with guns.
And what are they gonna do?
Let
me ask you a question.
Honey, I'm gonna tell you something. That scared the heck out of me.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Black people gotta stop being scared. They use fear to manipulate you. You could get a gun.
I know that. I know that.
But why are you being scared?
It's like I gotta. The only thing I could think about is He's in office for another
still
4
gonna
years.
they're still going to be out there.
The white man's walking around saying, we've won, and you black people, you better get in line, or if you don't, I'm gonna pull my gun out and shoot you, and nobody's gonna do anything to me. Nobody's gonna do anything.
I don't.
Kala, let me support your point, man. Kala, let me support your point. You see these so-called white militia that people are talking about that they showing on TV with guns? Those people don't go to black communities. They don't come to black neighborhoods. They don't come around black people. So I don't know why black people are afraid of them, you know. Those so-called white militia, they're somewhere in the white community.
This fear in us and whatnot and everything. We're never gonna go no place. Fear.
I know, Kala, but you gotta understand, you know. I mean, and I'm sure you do understand, but it's like for me, you know, with my kids and what have you, it's a fear. It's a fear. I have fear. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I have fear.
I think black people should start watching TV, man. Like I think one of the first steps for our solution. Let's turn off the TV. Because that TV is programming, man. I'm telling you.
I don't watch the news. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I don't watch the news at all.
Most of the things black people consume that's controlling the way they feel and the way they think most of it is coming from TV because I'm afraid of this.
I don't watch the news. It's fear. You know, I have.
So what did you learn about the white militia?
My son, my two girls. You know, I'm fearful that if he was reelected, I'm fearful that would give them the green light.
They already got the green light now. It's gonna happen anyway.
All right, but hey, DD, we appreciate you coming on. I'm gonna bring on Pan-African Strikes Back, and then we're gonna log out.
Okay, thanks, Dinus.
Yeah,
no problem. Thank you. No problem. All right, go ahead.
Why you didn't leave that lady on? No, but I just gotta speak to that point. This woman literally got programmed, bro. Like literally got her mind programmed. And the fact that she was saying she has a husband and kid, that shows you what bad situation we're in. I felt like if Trump won, something was gonna happen that never happened in the last 4 years of Trump being president. Because suddenly the United States was going to become an even more dangerous place. But the people pointing guns at my son. What's stopping them from doing that now? Transgender restrooms, little boys being able to compete with little girls in sports as by law.
It's a mess.
See, it's all, and then you got people in the comments who are like, "Oh, Trump lost. What does it matter?" The lady voted against something that would have basically fixed the problem that she was complaining about. School choice would have allowed her to take her daughter to a school in the best area of town, despite her geographical location where she lived at. And she's talking about, she's complaining about her daughter being treated a certain way at school, but at the same time saying that under Trump, these things would have been worse. See, we're talking in this like double talk, like we're not stringing our thoughts together because you still were treated with racism. Trump is gone. Racism is still alive. It's not going to be gone no matter who's in office. The only thing you did was mess up your opportunity to kind of operate with a little more autonomy, like you can do a little more.
Some leverage.
With some leverage. Exactly. Because you could be having school choice, send your daughter to school wherever she want to go. Then you could be having platinum plan where you could be talking about starting your own businesses and stuff, and you don't got to worry about who giving you hours and all this stuff. And this is what we do. We're still complain about the white man dynasty. Then we go and put faith in the other white man, thinking that he's gonna save us from like what we did with the Capitol Hill. We was defending racists on the inside of Capitol Hill from racists on the outside of Capitol Hill. We defending racists from other races, right? And I think the people who quote unquote support Trump, we have an understanding of both sides being racist. We're just gonna pick the racist who's not looking over our shoulder. Like Both of my managers are jerks and assholes, but there's one who rides me all day, every day, and there's another one who just lets me do my thing, right? They're both jerks, right? But the thing is, the Trump supporter understands that and then votes in his best interest to do what he wants to do. The person who's the Biden or whatever supporter is like, no, that's good white folk over there versus this bad, evil white folk. The lady was not honest or transparent about Charlottesville. It was one black dude who got led out there by them white folks, and when them white boys are whooping his ass, he got caught up in the mix, right? That doesn't mean anything. But I want to speak about MLK real quick if you let me. MLK is a government person. Like, he's the person who the government chose to put up in front of black people. It don't matter what you believe about him. It doesn't matter what you think about him. He was the hand-selected Negro out of all the pastors in America, right? Who was selected by the government to represent black people on the big stage. Would you agree with that, Dynas?
Yeah,
I agree.
true.
Okay, so just like Obama's approved right now, the average black person does not approve of Obama because hindsight is 2020. That's why Martin Luther King's ratings were so low, because black people begin to feel the impact of integration almost immediately when people started leaving out of their black businesses and going to shop with white folks, right? Mm-hmm. So we had already saw that. So of course we didn't approve of him, right? Don't be shocked. MLK was not assassinated because the government, this is what we like to say. MLK was assassinated because he changed his rhetoric. Wrong. MLK was assassinated because he got in league with some guys, some black dudes, who were going up against a refuse department, against a union. They were going up against a union, trash union. And he was going to participate in a workers' march against those companies that handled the trash department. That was when Martin Luther King got killed. People think the government was like, yo, we're going to go slaughter this guy. But the reality is Martin Luther King started messing with somebody's money and he got annihilated. He wasn't doing anything different from what Al Sharpton does now, Benjamin Crump does now, all these pastors turned activists, right? He was just like, yo, I have my big moment. Now I'm going around the country. People are looking at me as the leader on all their different little problems and issues. Same way Al Sharpton has the Action League where he go, anybody die, get shot, all of a sudden Sharpton's on the ground. And he talks to the cameras.
Brad, I'm saying this. These groups like the Action League, it's a well-funded industry of Negro pacifism and stuff like that. Actually, when you want to align on something, you don't deal. White America has never dealt with Black America. The first time in our history was Donald Trump when he went directly to the Black community. What do you got to lose, right? He bypassed all these things. That's why they hate him so much. And went right to the Black community and said, yo, what do you got to lose? And he picked up a lot of black votes. The protocol was you got to meet with Benjamin Crump, Al Sharpton, and Cornel West. If you don't meet with all these powerful people who are self-appointed leaders of the Negroes. Now, what gets me is this: none of these guys are Black nationalist militants, right? How is it that even the Black nationalists are intimidated by these guys?
We have this fear in our mind because that lady was like, "Oh, the race war." Which one of us has ever witnessed a race war? I've witnessed a race riot in jail, but very few Black people have ever witnessed a race war. Okay. The war is so high above your head that you actually participate in it and you don't realize it. Right. The race war was at that damn girl job when her manager wouldn't give her no hours. That was the race war that woman is that she's not even realizing. She's like, the race war. White people are not about to come out the bushes with guns and kill you. Why? Because that does them no good. Right. White people don't want to fight you and engage you in the streets. Right?
Brian, let me say this. White people now have more power. The liberals have more power over Black America. They finally won.
They're controlling you.
They control over Black America right now. They got us. They got us voting for transgender bathrooms and racism. We voted for that. They got us like zombie. You have the zombie ant where the fungus infects his brain and starts acting crazy out of its own interest, and it ends up starving because it's doing the bidding of the fungus or whatever, or parasites. When some parasite. That's what it is. They parasited Black America. That we're out there fighting for stuff that don't even serve our interests.
If you are off code. You are off code if you are still if you're still trying to criticize a Black man for supporting Trump in the name of supporting some other white guy named Biden. Because I don't criticize Biden supporters. I don't care, honestly. But I'm not going to sit up and tolerate someone telling me I was wrong when me, who's constantly working for my people, right? Dynas, who's constantly working for his people. Kala, he's working for his people. We all saw things the same way, but we're being criticized by a bunch of individuals who don't give a damn about Black people as a whole. That lady don't give a damn about Black folks. She cares about her kid. When it impacts her family, that's when she started giving a damn. And you're going to tell us that we're the ones who are delusional? She got on here talking about personal issues, but then talking about, I was scared because the race war. Oh, you were scared because the race war. So the race war mean you were scared for me and Dynas that white people come get us. No, Dynas. Who did she say she was scared for? Who gonna get hurt by the racists?
Right. Her
son. So if the white people say, look, ma'am, we'll protect your son, guess what she gonna do to you? You throw you right under the bus. Because that's what all these people do. That is what a liberal is. A person who uses a fake sense of sympathy and empathy or concern for the masses to satisfy their personal desires. That's a liberal. I'm going to pretend like I care about you so that I can protect myself.
I'll go even further, Brandon. I'll go even further. Look at how that there's nothing Roland Martin could say that why are we going so hard, right? I thought that Black America should have been at the point, right, where we're mature enough to be like, okay, I see things this way, right? I'm a Green Party person. I'm a Libertarian Party. I'm a Republican. That would show that Black America has reached some sort of maturity, just like everybody else, right? You don't automatically. So like Joe Biden said that. Well, the Hispanics are diverse. We can't. You people all the same. Basically, what they're saying is this, though. Black men, you got big, strong Black men. You're still scared. You're still a pussy. You know what I'm saying? You're still a punk. You're going to vote for them because you're scared of us.
Listen, Kala, this person told me, Brandon, you're reaching. So if I'm reaching, that means Malcolm X was reaching. Because Malcolm X, the person who you pretend to actually follow and care about what he said the same thing about the liberal. Liberals are virtue signalers. Republicans, conservatives, they will tell you straight up, I don't like you. You're Black. I don't want you in my town. I don't want you dating my women. I don't want you over here eating at my pizza stand. A liberal will say, no. It's racist for them to not let you come eat at my pizza stand while he triple charges you for the same thing and he back in the back counting your damn money, calling you a nigga behind your back. That's it. That's all. Don't try to criticize nobody for supporting whoever they support, because 9 times out of 10, whoever you support is 10 times worse. You sat up, reparations, ADOS. If they don't give us reparations, and you went and was a hypocrite. You still voted for them. You could have went to the Libertarian Party, the Socialist Party. You could have went to the Workers' Party. You could have went to all Green Party. You still went back up under the Democrats. That means that you were not operating under your own free will. You were operating under programming and brainwashing. The one thing about a Black man who voted for Trump is at least he did it of his own volition. It wasn't because Trump didn't even have positive press in the media, right or wrong, Don? 95% negative press in the media, right?
Right.
So that means the Black men who voted for Trump actually sat down. They weighed the risk and the reward, and they took the choice that they thought was best for them. You didn't weigh no risk and no reward. Just like that lady said, I was scared. Fear. Once you let fear consume you, you're no longer thinking. Period. period. So don't pretend, don't try to act like your fear-based decision was something that was motivated by rational thinking and logic.
Right.
Because
And
you
see,
still ain't
basically,
Hey, Kala,
that represents
Kala,
90% of the black people who by fear, and they just expose themselves. Fear.
hey, Kala, Dennis, let me tell you guys something. I'm going to share one thing that goes on in Africa during the election, right? In Africa, right, in a neighborhood, the way people vote is based on what the top dogs in the neighborhood tell them to do. It's based on that. When election is coming up, when politicians want to win an election, they go to their particular neighborhood to find who are the guys. Some people will call them the political thugs or the intellectuals in their neighborhood, because they know that neighborhood conversation happens on a daily basis, right? Now, the reason why I say this is this. Don't you guys think the reason why black people in the black neighborhood, a lot of them tend to easily vote for Democrats and fall for the Democrats game is because the intellectuals they're supposed to educate them on how to vote already moved out of the neighborhood. Because some people just need somebody to tell them what to do. They need somebody to show them who to vote for, somebody to educate them on how to vote. But in a neighborhood, when they're having conversation, the intelligent people, they're supposed to really break things down, bring facts and logics and all these things on the table. They're not there. So the people have no choice but to go by what they see on TV. So don't you guys think that really is not a lady's fault and people like that in those communities?
We live in the age of information. She talked about her education with my educational background, all this stuff. We gonna listen. Black people are still trying to operate as if they don't know that their choices actually have an impact on them. We operate on this. We straddle the fence. On one side, we say, look, we're responsible. We can make our own choices. On the other side, we say, don't hold me accountable for what I did because I did it because I was scared. Mike, you are sitting up perpetuating an old way of thinking that has kept black people mired down in the fog of ignorance for too long. We are in the age of information. We have computers in our pockets, cell phones. You literally can just Google what's going on. And what it is right now is the battle between the people who use this right here to search and research and find out what's going on versus the people who are too lazy to do so. And the people who are too lazy to do so, they're the most vocal. They will criticize you. They get in groups because it's easier, echo chambers, so they can go against you. But at the end of the day, the truth, like the Bible said, is sharper than a two-edged sword. It's going to cut right through that BS. And that lady talked for 5 minutes and revealed exactly how ridiculous she was, and there's nothing you could say to defend that, Mike. No matter how
let me
accent may sound.
Okay, you made a point. Now let me ask you this: you mentioned like, okay, if there are no intellectuals in the community to educate you, no one in your neighborhood to educate you, pick up your answer, go on Google.
Mike,
wait, Kala, let me finish, man. Come on,
let him finish, bro. Let him finish. Go ahead,
okay.
Mike.
So they should pick up the tablet, Google, go on that line, and get information. Now, the question I want to ask you is this: who's spending more money to push that campaign on the internet?
That don't got nothing to do with nothing. The lady
wait. If that lady, listen to me. If that lady goes on the internet right now to say, I need information on voting, do you think information coming from you, Pan-African Strike Back, is the one she's likely to run into?
Let me tell you
this
something.
Propaganda campaign that's been pushed online by the Democratic Party is the one she's going to run into.
You asked me a question. I
didn't finish the question. Go ahead.
That was the question. You finished. Trust me. This is the thing. That woman watches this show. Me and Dynas, did we not spend damn near a month and a half telling people who they should vote for and why? Jason Black wouldn't do it. Nobody would do it. No one would fall down on that side of the fence because everybody was trying to straddle the fence or avoid this situation. Some people get up. Hold on, Mike. Hold on, Mike. Some people get off on just criticizing black people, right? So they want to see black people walk and step in doo-doo so they can say, ha, y'all dumb, y'all stepped in doo-doo, right? That keeps the money rolling in, right? Now, other people like me and Dynas want to really see black people doing better. So we're going to jump on the sword, right? Take the public criticism. Dynas risked his channel in the productivity of his channel to tell black people, do you think this man is going, knowing he's talking to black people who love to get mad at people and turn on them, Do you think Dynas risked his channel by being real about what he saw? A smart person. This guy's doing a lot in Africa and all over. Me, an intelligent man, doing a lot in Africa all over. Do you think we're going to risk our support base to tell our people to do something unless it was something being done for all the right reasons, unless it was honest, sincere, legitimate? These people in the comments who you defend, Mike, they have nothing. You don't know who they are.
No, I'm not defending. I'm just being. I'm playing devil's advocate. It's not me defending.
But it's okay. But what I'm telling you is, bro, we are already, like the brother said, 189. We are already deemed obsolete because we are in denial about the fact that we know that we are voting against our own best interest, and we want to keep on doing it. Why? Because we're afraid, and because we got to keep that loyalty to the Democrats, because they just might give me something. They might let a crumb drop from their pocket. And then look at all the stuff Biden's doing. Black people are trying, he's doing this. Ooh, look, he did that. But what about defund the police, right? What about racial justice and equality? He never gave you all. What about reparations? The three main things that you want and ask for, he's not even touching those. He's just throwing you a bunch of crap to make you forget that he's not ever going to give you what you wanted. If that was the choice to get nothing we wanted, I'd rather take a chance on the other guy who's at least offering me some money and at least saying, I'm going to leave you alone. I'm going to let you fly without the COVID test. I'm going to let you come back in with the COVID test. I'm not going to force you to do the vaccines, all that stuff. Don't tell me you're afraid of a damn vaccine when you sat up the vote to do who we all knew was going to sit up and try to force us to take vaccines. We all knew that guy was going to try to force people into lockdown and stuff. And now guess what happened? Oh, I'm scared of COVID, right? All of a sudden in California, the death rate is higher than it's ever been. All of a sudden, everything's okay to open up now because he's done something different. He didn't do a damn thing different.
The only thing that happened was the fact that Biden got sworn in. Suddenly, COVID is going away.
They held us hostage, Kala. They held us hostage for an entire year to get political power.
They're showing you now that I didn't think this would ever happen. That they really can control you. You know, imagine if they come. If you get caught without a COVID a vaccine, you could be arrested, detained. They can detain you for They can actually do that. You know, they can actually do that.
But we knew that, Kala. Dynas, did we know or did we not know as a whole, black people, all of us, did we not know that Biden was going to get in here doing funny stuff about the COVID, using COVID as a way to pass all kinds of crap, right or wrong?
Now he's saying that if you're riding public transportation, you don't have a mask on, you can be arrested.
But did we already know Biden was going to do that when he came in? He was going to start using COVID to try to put more restrictions. We knew that.
Check out with Brandon. When the media starts hammering, like now he says, "Oh, we can't get anything under control. It's out of our hands." He didn't say it was running. He said Trump was doing such a bad job. He get in there. He's going day one. Now he's saying, "Well, you know, the numbers are going up, but you said wear a mask." Yeah. Now they're telling wear double mask. You know, it's all the goalposts and everything.
It's all control. Whether you control by you either got the master with the long leash or the short one. I'm not talking about Trump and I'm supporting him. What I'm telling you is, you voted for Biden. Everything that happens under Biden, you are no longer permitted to complain because you chose that. Just like if I voted for Trump and Trump did some funny stuff, I can't complain about that because I chose that person. You guys can, but I can't. I chose him. So now when Biden starts doing all this stuff, you notice the same people talking about, I'm not getting no vaccine. They're still trying to defend Biden. They're still trying to say, well, I didn't want the other guy, but you don't want to take a vaccine. Oh, people dying taking a vaccine. Well, guess what? You are responsible for that because you supported the guy who will use that as a way to get power. And when Biden passes the legislation about black identity extremists and all that with the domestic terrorist laws that they're trying to pass
That's coming.
That's already coming. So you can't even get in spaces like this and talk, or they're going to be having you on some type of list talking about you can't get on a plane and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You did it to yourself. You did it to yourself. Damn Trump, damn Biden. You black people, everybody in the chat, all the people who supported Biden because he's going to make us more safe from white folks. when you complain, that lady Didi, when you complain, Didi, remember you did it to yourself. That's all I'm saying, and I'm done.
All right, so what we'll do, we'll let Kala, well, Mike, go ahead and say one last statement, then Kala, then Brandy will end on you, then we're going to close out. Go ahead, Mike.
Okay. So I personally think whatever's going wrong in the community, our people are making choices. We just have to blame ourselves as a collective, you know.
There is no collective.
Okay, listen. There is. The thing is this: you have to understand something.
Yeah, there is no
It
collective.
No,
takes brain to make something happen, right? The problem is the people with the brain are just not interested in making it happen. Like I
I
said,
have a brain. So what are you talking about, Mike? You sound silly. The people with brains
listen,
are
man. Listen, man. Listen. When I say okay, what exactly? What am I saying to make happen? I didn't even get to that point. Now you saying I sound silly. I'm saying the people with the brain are not willing to make that community thing happen. It takes the minds, the brilliant people among a group of people to design a community. What I'm saying is the brilliant Black Americans are not interested in their communities. Look at all these NFL players. Look at all these NBA players. Even Kobe Bryant built his Mamba Academy in a white neighborhood in California.
Facts.
So what I'm saying is that's the point I'm making. So there is the ability to create a community. And the tools and everything to make a community is there. We're just not interested. Those with the brain are not interested. Those with the capital and the brain are not interested.
Mike, we got to close out, bro.
We're closing out, though, man. Come on.
Well, let me say
We're closing out, Kala. We're closing out.
I know. But I'm saying is
now
we on the time thing, you know. So go ahead, Mike. Finish.
Okay, now, Brandon, I made a point earlier. I said, listen, in a community, you really can't blame that lady, right? Because the people that should have been in their neighborhood to educate people on how to vote, they left. Now you said to me, "Oh, Mike, me and Daniel spent 30 days on campaigning on this channel." While you were spending 30 days campaigning on this channel, the Democratic Party was also spending 30 days campaigning for their own vote, right? And guess what? Guess what the difference is? The Democratic Party has billions of dollars behind the campaign. How much were you putting behind your own campaign? So whose campaign is likely to get to the people in the neighborhood? Yours or the Democratic Party? Now, the reason why I mentioned that, rather than believing that, the internet battle, you come to campaign on the internet against the Democratic Party, how about we campaign in the neighborhood? How about all the Black intellectuals? You don't even have to move back to the neighborhood. Have some connection. If you grew up in a place, have some connection to that place. Have a connection, not just abandon the community. The Black community was abandoned by Black intellectuals. And the Black intellectuals are the one with the brain to correct their community, to fix it. Not somebody else. Not a politician, not a white man, not a Chinese man. Nobody else but the Black intellectuals are going to fix the Black community.
Mike, let me say something. Can you take a Black intellectual on a roller coaster ride, right? Pick his brain, listen to him, and eat pizza at the same time. Can you do that?
Say it again. Kind of broke up. I didn't quite hear the question.
In other words, basically, you say we got a Black thing. You say let's go there. Okay, well let's have this discussion. Let's go on a roller coaster. Okay, you're on a roller coaster. You're going like this. You're not screaming like that. You're trying to eat pizza at the same time and everything like that. You get off the roller coaster and everything like that. You're dizzy, right? That's what you say about Black intellect. Black America's in chaos. You know, the community is completely broken, is in chaos. What can a so-called Black intellectual do? You know what? If you ever read, good book you should get. You ever read Plato's book, The Republic, or Aristotle?
Kala, listen to me. Kala.
Mike, let me finish. Right?
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
When you look at these philosophers and everything like this, these people are elite and they have some sort of power. This is what you don't seem to understand, right? Black institutions have no power over the Black masses. It never was. They will never let that happen. Howard University, there's no Howard University armed guard, whatever like that with Black people. There's nothing. Everything in Black America comes from white America. I don't know. If you look at the University of Missouri, look at the state of Missouri, you see the manifestation. The top colleges in California, Berkeley, and everything. You see what they graduate. You see the cities they build. You see the manifestation, right?
Okay, Kyle, I get your point.
Hold on. You have all these Black HBCUs, right? Look at the communities that they surround. They don't have any sort of bearing or thing on the black because this is a disconnect. It's a community in name only. That's what you understand, the conundrum about being black in America. If you try to be a community, the white man, you're a threat to the white man. So all we're going to do is give a pseudo community, a pseudo, and tell us about the problems we all know about. What are you going to tell us? Shit's fucked up. Shit's fucked up.
Come on, let me give you the come on.
And shit's fucked up. That's all you
hear. Brother, let me just say this. Come on, let me give you the fundamental fact about black community or all communities. The people that carry out the chaos in the community are mostly teenagers and maybe guys that are under the age of between the age of 25 below to
man.
Listen, man. Let me finish. The reason why these young people are carrying out the destruction is because they have nobody positive to look up to. They have nobody to show them what to do. They have nobody to control their behavior.
How are you?
Say it again.
How old are you?
I'm in my late 30s.
Okay, Mike.
I'm same age as Dennis. Right. Okay. We were born in the same month, Dennis. You and I were born in June.
Mike, this is all I want to say to you.
April?
All I want to say to you
is
Mike,
go ahead.
What you're saying is not helping anybody, because what you're doing is you're giving our people a scapegoat at a time when they need to realize that they're the only people who they can blame for what's going on to them. Whether you okay,
but that's what I'm saying, though. That's what I'm saying.
Hold on. Listen. Yes, it's the white man's fault. The white man's fault.
No. I didn't say the white man's fault.
Listen,
I said the black intellectuals' fault.
That's what I said. Listen to me. It's the white man's fault. It's the black intellectual fault. It's all that, right? But Mike,
no, not the white man's fault. I didn't say that.
Listen.
I don't believe it's the white man's fault.
Listen, we all know the reasons, Mike. But what's the result? If we keep on talking about whose fault it is, other than telling our people personal accountability, we're dooming them. We're sending them to hell, because they're going to have to start looking at what they do as if the next decision they make could be their last decision. And until we start doing that, we're going to always be losing, because our people are stuck in a vortex of unaccountability.
Don't you think that's what I'm saying? By telling black intellectuals to take personal accountability, and
you're saying it's the black intellectuals' fault for not teaching people, and I'm telling you, it's
for now for living their community.
Okay,
listen, who's making white community function? Right. Isn't it a white intellectual?
Right.
Who's making the other communities function? It's the intellectuals. It's not the low. It's not their teenagers.
Hold on, Colin, real quick. Does the black intellectual have to tell a black person to go fill out the Section 8 form for free housing? Does the black intellectual have to tell a black person to go buy a cell phone, to hop on the internet, to get on Facebook, to do all this stuff? Mike, you're not going to win this argument with this idea that a bunch of people have no problem doing all the stuff they want to do on their own and finding out how to do it, are all of a sudden needing the black intellectuals to come tell them what to do when it comes to politics. If those people wanted it, they would have it, because people who want something go out and look for it. The guy doesn't have a job, not because he wants a job but can't get one. He doesn't have a job because he's not getting up to go look for one. And that's the way the white man's world works. The same white man who we're saying we approve of the way he's running things. We want him to run it just like he's been doing it for decades. Then we complain about the way he's running it. We're just on a Negro hamster wheel, right? Yeah, where we just say a roller coaster where we act and do certain things, and then when the result comes, we try to complain about it as if we did not make that happen. And in 2020, we're gonna have to leave that type of thing behind, and or there's gonna have to be a separation between our people, the people who want to be accountable and take control of their own lives, and the people who want to keep on pretending like they don't realize that their actions have a result. A kid touched the stove, the kid is a kid, but guess what? He's still gonna get burnt. He can't blame, you can blame his parents, but we are adults. That lady in the back chat said, Brandy could never teach me who to vote for. Guess what? Fine. But why are you coming on here pretending like you give a damn about me, our safety and racism, when the reality is you did what you did because you only was caring about you, and you thought the white man could save you. That's just like a Negro who sold his brother out on the plantation. He was putting his own butt in. He was getting himself into safety by selling out his brother. That's what you call sellouts. And we're not going to keep protecting sellouts by saying, oh, they didn't know, or this or that.
Hey, Brandon, let me say something.
Hey, Colin, after you say we're closing out, but go ahead, bro.
One last thing. Somebody said HBCUs built the black middle. That's a lie. What built the friggin' black middle class was the civil service and jobs like that. That's what built the black America.
And government jobs.
And government jobs. That's what built black America. That's where all the black money comes from. And then we sent kids to college and everything. It's better. But the initial wealth of the middle class was those blue collar jobs, but they got rid of steel industry. People in New York City making $150,000 a year working in sanitation, and stacking their money and stuff like that, got houses in the Carolinas, stuff like brothers from the Caribbean got houses in Jamaica and whatnot, got all kinds of benefits and everything. The so-called HBCUs want to be the rules of black America, but they don't have the money. The white man's not going to give them any money. A lot of these people, professors and all that, they don't make any money. Black America, you got black contract. There's 2.5 million black men that are in the upper middle class, upper income class. These are mostly contractors, small business people making their money in IT. So this idea that this HBCU, black intellectual class, nothing against intellectuals, but if you bought into the American system and you're not a Pan-Africanist, your intellectual means nothing. Because why should I go to the black intellectual? I can just go right straight to the white man. Ain't that right, Brandon? I go right straight to the white man.
You're 100% right, man. It's all about accountability. Get a shirt, put it on a shirt. Accountability, because that's what you're gonna have to have. Nobody ain't splitting a welfare check with me, but they setting up talking about what I didn't do is the reason why they did what they did. Damn that. You grown. You're grown. You make your own decisions. You live with the consequences or change the decisions that you're making. That's it.
Dinus, I'm off to Liberia tomorrow, folks. I'm off tomorrow.
Can I plug one of my videos real quick, Dinus?
No, go ahead.
Hey, I just did an interview with one of our members from a project I'm working on. He went and checked out, the land from our group, and I just did an interview with him. So if you go to my channel, you can go watch a video about, how real and tangible and all that what we're doing is, and how great I am. But just go check out my channel. There's something on there that just was done today, and you're gonna love it. Thank you, Dinus. I appreciate it. Kala, be safe out there, bro.
Yeah,
and suck up all the culture for me, bro. Suck it all up for me.
I'll do a show with you from Liberia, Brandon.
For sure. I can't wait.
Dinus too,
I can't wait.
Yeah, so I'll do a show with him over there.
Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, family, search for peace.
Peace.